Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of one of my favorite series, the CRPS Power Club. If you don't know what the Power Club is, the Power Club is my effort to remedy the social and emotional isolation that often comes with dealing with a chronic pain condition like CRPS by facilitating a support group that meets monthly and goes over a book, but also gives each other support and sets meaningful goals moving towards the future. In this video, there was kind of a unique situation where the Power Club video from the month of February at first was broken and corrupted, but then I happened to find another saved version of the video, so I'm able to bring it to you now. So if you are someone that is in the Power Club and was wondering where the recap from February was, I am so sorry for that. It is finally here. And if you are someone who is in the Power Club also and is wanting to see a recap for March, well, it's in this same exact video. So very excited to be able to bring both of those videos to you guys today so you can kind of see the two books that we went over, which are The Courage to Be Disliked and When Breath Becomes Air. These are very different books and we read them for very different reasons, but I think they're all both valuable when it comes to learning about pain, understanding doctors, and moving forward with life. The next book, which is also a contender for being in my online course in the near future, is called No Bad Parts, and I'll put that on screen for you here. That book will be gone over on April 25th, 2025. That is Saturday, at 2 p.m. U.S. Central Time. That is the time that we always meet. And so if you would like to get into that Power Club, let me know. Reach out to me on Facebook, and I can definitely get you in for the April session. That being said, Power Club is taking a brief hiatus for the summer months. So for May, June, and July, there will be no Power Club at all. And then Power Club is going to relaunch in August. And it'll be new and improved with new books, new exercises, and a lot more excitement for the near future. So we have done Power Club now for almost a year. I believe April is a full year, and I'm so thankful for everyone that has been a part of it. I'm so excited to watch it grow over the next couple years. And yeah, I hope you enjoy these two recaps of the Power Club itself. If you don't know who I am, I'll let you know real quickly. My name is Chase Teagarden, and a little over 11 years ago, I myself was diagnosed with complex regional pain syndrome. For 4 years, I struggled in pain with no answers from doctors. I thought about taking my own life and had to use a walker to get around. Thankfully, I did not take my own life and I moved forward, and 4 years later, I found myself out of pain. Since then, I have become not only a doctor of physical therapy, therapeutic pain specialist, and one of 60 fellows of pain science in the country, but I now help people all over the world overcome this pain and move on with life. You're going to see some of those people that I've helped or that I'm currently helping in these Power Club videos. And like I said, I would love for you to join us, whether it's in Power Club, in my online program, or one-on-one coaching with me. You can find links to all of those resources in the description down below. Thanks so much, guys. And without further ado, we will watch the recap. And once more, the next Power Club meeting will be April 25th, 2026. I've misspoke, so 2026 at 2 p.m. U.S. Central Time. All right. I'll see you then. Enjoy these recaps. Have a great weekend. See you in the next video. Okay, everyone. Welcome to the February 2026 Power Club meeting, where we are going over the book The Courage to Be Disliked. This has been a mixed emotions book. Some people love some parts, some people unsure about it. And so I'm excited to talk about it and see what we took from it, good and bad, and then go from there. But before we do that, we have a few new faces here today. And so we're just going to introduce everybody. And then that way we'll all be acquainted. So let's start with the person in the top of my screen here is Mary. So Mary, go ahead and introduce yourself.
That's me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Mary Esther Mattis. I live in Crowley, Texas now. Moved from Oklahoma, where I was for 33 years, and I've had CRPS, or I'm recovered from CRPS. Got it initially in 2015 after a fall,
Mhm.
but doing very well now.
We
Thank
Oh, so
love
you,
you're
it.
Chase.
You're fully recovered?
Uh, Rarely have a flare.
Oh
Rarely.
my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely to see it, and you've appeared in a few of my YouTube videos, which is wonderful to see the progress that you've had. And
Right.
so, yeah, super happy to hear that. And I
Yeah.
also see you've embraced Texas with your shirt there, so that's
Oh,
cool. As a
I used to wear these in Oklahoma. Get a
oh,
couple of looks, but who cares?
yeah, so you were ready. Okay,
I was.
that's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Mary, and then next up is Deborah.
Hey everybody, I'm Deborah Reynolds. I live in Painesville, Ohio, which is near Cleveland. Um, and it is 30 and snowing here, but I don't have to worry about that because I'm not going outside. Um, I've been a part of Chase's group for probably a year and a half. It gives me hope when I hear like Mary talking about she's generally free and clear because it's this group that keeps me having hope, Chase's groups. And Mary, are you in the Power Club A group?
So I
Power.
haven't, that's the group chat. So yeah,
Oh, no.
this
Okay.
this is perfect timing, Deborah. So everyone watching at home, I have a some group chats that I've created for our Power Club as we're starting to grow. And if you feel like you would like to be in that group chat on Facebook for support and you're in the Power Club, just shoot me a message on Facebook and I'll get you added to that group chat. That way, like for example, Deborah had some pneumonia and had some different challenges, and so we were all tagging in for support.
Okay.
Or, all of us have family stuff going on and things like that, so we can all bounce off each other for support there and not feel alone. Um,
It's been helpful, that's for sure.
Been
yeah,
really helpful.
I've
I've
been,
really relied on it these past weeks. Um, my CRPS, I've had a few what I would call flares, but other than that, it's just mild little zings, which I'm so grateful. Um, so I've been doing my best, get up every hour, do a lap. Um, Now I'm up to being able to take my shower, wash my hair, do a little laundry, rest for a bit. And that's generally because of the pneumonia as opposed to the CRPS. But
Hmm.
it has flared during this because I've been in a high state of anxiety with
Right.
all this going on. So I'm grateful for this group and really grateful for our new, I like to call us the Power Pals, our little
yeah,
Yeah,
I might change it. I might change the group name to that. I think Power Pals
that's
is cool.
I'd
that's
be
actually
so
really
proud.
cool. That's
Yeah,
really a cool name. Yeah.
yeah, I'll switch it to that. That'll be Group A, will be Power
I
Pals.
belong to Power Pals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Deborah was my ninth client when I went private from the hospital. And so that's really cool. And then to give you perspective for some of you guys in here, Pat was my 24th. And let's see, I have to look through my list. Jen wasn't too long after Pat. I think Mary was right in between Pat and Jen. And then Donna was right after everybody else there. So yeah, we got the group here. And actually, the next person is the only person I didn't mention, Betsy. And go ahead and introduce yourself.
Betsy Howard. Was I supposed to give my last name?
You're fine. You're fine.
Anyway, I am a retired chemical engineer and a retired Feldenkrais practitioner. And I I was trying to add up in my head how long it has been since I developed CRPS, and oh gosh, it's 3, 4 years, somewhere in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't say that I've kept track.
Yeah, it's no fun. And where do you live at? Did you mention that?
Well, at the moment, I live in Wilmington, North Carolina. When I got up a minute ago, it's because I had to adjust my fan because
Uh, rubbing it in, huh? It's hot up there, huh?
it's just a little bit warm and a lot humid today.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, welcome, Betsy from North Carolina.
Definitely
It's
don't
good
have
to
the
have you.
AC on yet.
Yeah. Well, good. It's good to have you, Betsy. And I don't have the camera from Carrie. So Carrie, why don't you introduce yourself? She's in the car right now.
Hey.
Oh, Carrie's gone. Okay.
Oh.
Donna, go ahead. She must have tried to unmute and disconnected on accident. Donna, you introduce yourself. Oh, wait, hold on. Carrie's back. Technology, I tell you. You go ahead, Donna, while Carrie gets that sorted out. Donna and Thomas.
Okay. Hi, I'm Donna Tribble. This is my husband, Thomas. And we live in McKinney, Texas, which is just north of Dallas. And let's see, I fell and broke my left wrist on both sides back in June of 2021. Wow, it's been almost 5 years ago now. And after going through one-on-ones with Chase and all the trainings and coachings, I am pain-free and still dealing with some POTS issues, but that's manageable. And we're currently looking for a house in this area, and I think we found one.
Ooh.
And just it's happening pretty quickly, but lots of positive things going on in our life right now. So I'm very blessed and thankful for that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we've been with Chase it's been a year now, hasn't it? Right about a year.
Yeah, yeah. I think we probably started.
I think in
November.
March is when you had your first launch of your program. We were one of the first people. That was about a
Yeah.
year.
But when I called him when he was in Japan, that was
December.
December of the year before. So 2024.
If you had CRPS for 4 years, it was bad, and now you're fine. So
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, Donna called me in December. That was when I first started posting on Facebook, and I had gotten linked up with Charles Maddox, who made Trial by Fire. And he
Yes.
knew Donna was having a hard time. And so Donna, I remember I was at a hotel in Osaka, and Donna called me. And I just picked up. I didn't know who was calling me through Facebook.
Right.
And we talked, and I encouraged you, and I had you start reading the Upward Spiral, and then we ended up
Yes.
starting working one-on-one together closer to March. But yeah, it was Donna is one of the ones from the beginning, because Charles and I had got linked up. So very cool and very good to see both of you here with us again. And Thomas, you want to give a little background on you?
Well, yeah. So I met Donna. I joked I had been divorced and single for about 10 years. I said I was going to buy a house. I said, the day I find a house is the day I meet somebody, and we can't live there. I have to buy another house. And the week we closed, I met Donna. So
Yeah,
we're looking at us together. We've been renting now for a while because she just couldn't move last year or the year before. That just
Yeah, you
wasn't.
can't do that when you have that.
Yeah.
She's fine now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we
You
got
must
married
really love her.
4 years ago almost.
4 years, April 2nd will be our 4-year anniversary.
So in the middle of all this, we got married, and everyone kept saying CRPS is either incurable or she's going to get better. We kept, physical therapists will tell you something different than a doctor,
Sure.
which is kind of interesting because they want to give you hope, but doctors don't.
Yeah. I'm a big believer of hope is the antidote, and now we're in a real good spot, and you're getting to find house shop, and so that's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, and I talked to a lot of people about Chase. I'm on a forum, and I have one of these guys named Dave. He's I'm trying to get him to talk to Chase, but he's being reluctant. So I know you and I are talking about that. So
Yeah.
it's interesting the friction people have to trying something new when you've tried 20 things and nothing works. It's very hard. So that's what I'm working on now as a pitch on that, is how to get people past that. And it's hard.
I think Dave's got booked for a consult with me, but I can't remember for sure. But if he watches this, I would love to meet with you, Dave, and reach out anytime. And I appreciate that, Thomas. It's hard in a world where people have been let down and some people scammed, and it's scary. Hope is a scary thing, and
it's more than that. They say, well, what did you do to get well? And you can't tell them except to say there's a connection. It's like if you have heartache, you're hurting because someone broke up with you. Why? And then there's a long explanation a guy gave me about serotonin levels drop and hormones change and blood flow changes in your heart. I said, you're right. What caused it?
Right. Right.
feelings, emotions, and you can't get that through to some people. They get in a circular logic, and you can't get past it. They want to talk about the physiology, and that's part of that. What we had trouble with, I didn't understand the process, but now that I do, it's like, again, you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard. I mean, I was a nurse or have been a nurse over 40 years, and just coming from that medical background, it's like, no, you treat it. You use medical, physical things, but
Yeah. Well, they were
it-
trained to do that, so they
right.
can't switch all of a sudden.
So yeah, once you start working with it, it's like, wow, it is so connected, emotional and physical.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And now,
Obviously, when we do better.
Right.
Donna
Right.
hurt her shoulder, and she's wondering what's caused that. What am I going through? Is it stress? And I said, no, it's because you did something that you lifted something you shouldn't. So
Yeah.
Well,
it's a little bit of both, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a ganglion, whatever you call it, on the top of my left hand.
Uh-huh.
So they're not going to bang it with a Bible, Chase.
You can.
No.
Well, the Bible
We don't
says
have a
for
King
reason.
James version.
Shoulder hurts really bad at night when I sleep. So my first thought was, okay, what's happening right now? What am I going through? Why is the weight of the world on my shoulder?
Uh-huh.
Well, we're looking for a house.
But I think you pulled it.
But that's not a negative thing. Sometimes it's good stressors. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, like Paige is my daughter, and we haven't spoken in almost 5 years now. And she reached out to us through my son Ryan over the last weekend, and then Ryan, he lives with us right now, and we're really close. So I took a picture of the Valentine's Day card he gave me, and it just made me cry. Like, happy cry. So emotions can be good and emotions can be stressful, but sometimes stress is a good thing, like good stress.
Yeah. So in a quick summary, the pain comes to protect us or even send a message to us about emotions we're feeling, and learning to listen to those by asking questions like, what am I going through right now? Well, we're looking for a house. Paige reached out. There's a lot of pressure there, even if it's good. And then inquiring about it, and then also doing what Thomas did and saying, actually, also physically, I might have strained something. And so it's never, you can never separate the two. They're always together no matter what.
Well, I get excited because like I'm able to do more stuff now. Not completely where it was before, but so I might overdo it sometimes, but that's just my personality.
Sure.
Oh,
A
no,
lot of our
that's the
personality.
way it is. Yeah. You feel
But,
good
you
if you
broke
way
your wrist.
overdo it.
You broke your wrist, and that's where the CRPS went. So again, it's like you said, it's connected. So
yeah. Let's
we were going to keep this short, so I'm glad we did. So next person.
yeah, I was gonna say let's try Carrie again. Let's see if Carrie can get herself unmuted without leaving. Carrie, you want to introduce yourself? Okay, Jen, go ahead and introduce yourself. Carrie might not be here. She's working on it. So Jen, how about you?
Oh, okay. I'm Jen Paulman, and I have been here from the beginning of the Power Club, and seen it grow now. This is great. And Pals has been amazing. We chat almost every day. It seems like the four of us. So there's Pat, Donna, and Deborah, and us, and me, and now Carrie.
Yep.
So that's been really fun because you get to know each other. It becomes more of a relationship than just you see them and you're talking a little bit and you don't really know them. You don't really know where they live exactly. They tell you, but you might forget. It's developing a relationship, which is very cool because we're hurting and some are getting out of that, but I'm not yet. I'm still in the middle of it and I have a ways to go, but I have hope and I'm in the trenches every day trying to figure it out. I've had a lot of emotional stuff with my son and daughter-in-law happen. So some losses there. So I'm having to, I think Chase said in one of the little videos recently that like you could be doing well and have things, and then all of a sudden a new trauma happens and you're going to have to deal with that grief. And that is so true of what's happening with me right now. So I went through kind of a severe depression December, January, and I'm starting to slowly get out of it, but I got really low. So this happened during that. So, and it's still happening. So I'm trying to be strong, but still really hard.
Yeah.
But I have to I'm realizing what kind of personalities they are, and they're very toxic for me. And I'm not healing because of their type of personalities. I have a narcissistic son and doesn't care. He acts like sometimes he says things, but and then he'll talk to me really bad. And I just take it because I have fear of losing my grandkids. So years and years of taking it and not saying anything. And the same now, I said something that upset us over Christmas, and it wasn't just me and my husband. I finally had enough and said something to my daughter-in-law, and then she's not even speaking to us. And she's refusing to let her. We paid for our grandson to come for spring break next month, and she's not letting him come. So we're out of ticket, and he's 11, so he knows that we love him, but it's hard for me to know that what are they going to say to him? What are they going to, that whole thing is how's he going to feel about me? Well, I gotta step back and realize that we've done our best to be the grandparents that he needs. And I can't control what they're going to say and do there. They're in Oregon. I'm in Arizona. So now this is very raw. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. This is what the support group's for.
It's very raw. It just happened yesterday. So I'm sorry.
It's okay. And as you talk about this, Jen, I see you when you're starting to get emotional, you're going like this. And what I would encourage you to do, even if it's not here, you should let yourself cry as much as you need to. Remember, when we push down emotion, sometimes we use our hand.
And my hand's burning more, and I know that. I woke up with it burning, and I realized that. I know.
Yeah. So suggestions I would have would be to write about it angrily towards them if you need to.
Yeah, I'm upset. I'm angry. Yeah, I know. And I've been telling myself and saying it, but I know I need to write it too, because there's a very psychological thing when you write it, and I just need to do it. It's just, I keep hoping, there's just still hope. Like, oh, they could just change and send him. Well, she could hold it over and the day before say he can't come. And then we're really out. I mean, Rick took vacation and, so, I mean, we have to stay enough's enough. I have taken so much for years that I'm conditioned to be, I almost look at it as like, why? That's so unfair to me. Like, I'm valuable.
Yes, you are.
But the way he talks to me, I'm not. We don't matter. We don't have a life because we don't have kids. We're not raising kids. Their life's so busy. I'm sorry. People have more than 2 kids and they can put their parents, give them love and treat them fairly.
The sad thing is it goes both ways. What percentage of teenagers are in therapy now?
Well, I mean, today I woke up going, you know what? Ronan is 11. He knows us. You are actually hurting him.
Sure.
I'm not the one hurting him. Sure. You are now, he knows. I mean, I just talked to him last week on his birthday and sent him like a fun little card I made him of a fake, flight with stickers and saying when he's coming, it shows his actual ticket, but it's cut apart and done really cute, shows his name. I mean, and, he has that. And now I don't know what they're going to say, why, but, it's just, it sucks. And I don't know how to get past that, but I know I do need to write about it. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
No.
But it's true. I mean, like you said, he's 11. He knows. And that's the important part. He knows that y'all love him. And he's not going to forget that.
I hope not.
My 6-year-old grandson didn't forget it. So the 11-year-old's not going to.
True. And I, Jen, I just want to say I'm sorry you're going through this right now. It sounds awful. It does suck. And you're totally allowed to be here in whatever form you come. So happiness is just as welcome as sorrow, especially in the Power Club. And so, we'll talk about how the book applies to that and what kind of strategies we have. But yes, Jen, even if she was to call tomorrow and say, actually, he is going to come, and she stuck to that, you would still have these emotions here. And so
She
regardless,
said very, very cruel things. Like she's
yeah,
just switch. I mean, I'm like, we finally felt comfortable enough to tell you these hurt our feelings. And then you just became almost super mean and
yeah,
like switched it on me. Like I'm not a good person. And like,
yeah,
I'm going to harm my grandchild. Like, what am I
mm,
going to do? All we were going to do is spoil him. I
yeah,
mean, like, I had all these fun things planned. I was actually looking forward to a vacation, like to
mm,
do something different than be at home and focus on my pain.
sure.
I was hoping for a day of distraction each day for 6 days in a row. I knew I'd be exhausted, but it would be a good exhausted because I've been for 2 years dealing
And
with
that
just,
that could exactly be it. She knows how much fun he's going to have, maybe something they couldn't do with him,
Mm,
and she's jealous of that.
mm,
Y'all are
it
going
could
to
be,
put all that time into him.
I thought about that too, that she could be upset I didn't plan to have all of them come again, and
yeah.
pay for it. I mean,
Well, ultimately trying to rationalize irrational behavior doesn't really do us any good.
I know it
But
doesn't do me any good because
yeah,
well, CRPS doesn't do any of us good to do that, but we just take it so deeply, and it's so upsetting to feel like you're going to be, not portrayed great to them. Like I
yeah,
don't even know what they're going to say, and I shouldn't worry. I should value me now because I'm not healing
yeah.
because of this hold they have on me. It's constant fear.
The what they have on you?
A hold on me of like the constant fear of I can't see my grandkids. Well, that's where we're at.
Can you say that part again? The what they have on you?
Hold.
And where it hurts, right?
Yeah.
So what I want you to know, Jen, is even if they called tomorrow and they said, yeah, he's gonna come, you would still have these feelings. So you keep saying, I'm holding out, I'm waiting in case they say
Well, we're
something.
not now because Rick canceled his vacation. Finally told him that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and that's fine. I mean, what I want to say is if they did call tomorrow and say, yeah, actually he'll come, you would still have these feelings here that you've felt so very deeply. And so the writing, no matter what the situation is, the feelings are there and we need to let them out, right? And so
Right.
I would highly encourage that, angry letter, whether it's sent or not.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's good. Okay.
Remember the let me book. Let them.
I've tried that. I'm sorry. It's easy at the gym to let people be stupid,
There's a
but
limit to it. Yeah.
it's very hard
Oh
when it
yeah, it
comes to
is.
grandkids. It's super hard to just say let them be.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
have let them be. I have not. I've held my tongue for years and
Mhm.
just conditioned to take it and not say anything that upsets us
Yeah.
or anything. And that's so unhealthy. That's what
Yeah.
one of the reasons I have CRPS. That is
Yeah.
one of it,
I'm
because
part
I've
of a
allowed that.
caregivers group at church, and we're kind of on the opposite end.
I know. And I love it.
So,
I'm so happy for you guys. I really am. Truly.
well, one of the ladies was saying another group was infringing on our space, and this is a little old lady, and she says, "I was going to go punch her in the throat." I thought, "You're not going to take anything, are you?" So
Well, I feel like doing that right now, but
Yeah.
I'm
so
3 states away. So that's
What
Well,
is that?
it might be a healthy thing to not only write the letter, but go smash some stuff,
that's
you
what I'm
That's
know?
what I
saying.
was
Yeah.
thinking.
it might
Yeah.
be time.
Yeah, express
They
this
do.
emotion, and even though it doesn't it's not going to change anything, it is going to help us get some of these feelings out that we're carrying around with our hand, And so speaking of carrying, Carrie, after Pat, we're gonna come to you, Carrie. So Pat, you go ahead, and then Carrie, you can get ready.
You're up,
Um,
Pat.
Right.
you're up.
Sorry, guys.
You're good.
And I believe that God put Jen and Mary in this group because Mary went through a similar thing that I had with my grandson and still having, and Jen is going through something now too with her grandkids. So thank you for being here, Mary and Jen and Chase, of course, and all the others for your support. I'm the only Canadian in the group. I'm from
Ooh.
a town near Toronto, Ontario, and it's not too bad here today. It's actually quite mild and there's no snow, so we're happy. But yeah, I've been estranged from my grandson for a year, over a year, and it's been the hardest thing I've ever gone through emotionally. And lately, I've been doing a lot of introspection about it and getting to, you know, thinking about all that I had done in the past with my daughter, and just all the emotions have been coming to the forefront. And I think it has a lot to do with a couple of my friends that they brought a lot to the conversation. And so it brought a lot of things up, and I've been working through a lot of things with my counselor, and that's been very helpful. And so I'm in a flare, a bad flare, but I have hope too. I mean,
You have
yeah,
to keep that.
I have hope. And the latest thing with her is that she said we are going to meet up when she's done school. Now, she said that before, but I have hope that it will happen this time. And so that might be the end of April, 1st of May.
Okay. That's good. And I think that we caution about that too, because like you said, Pat, there's a lot of times with letters she said she's going to write and the date she says she's going to send and, that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, there's a cautious optimism to that outcome. But it sounds like you're using resources, social resources, professional resources to help you with some of this stuff. And
the journaling, I've been writing so much every day and going really deep with my journaling and what I was like as a mother, and why does she have this self-esteem that's so low, and she doesn't need to, because she's very intelligent and she's very accomplished. She's an accomplished pianist.
Yeah.
And she's very beautiful. She's a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
And I've been doing so much of that, and it's probably why I'm in a bad flare. And Jen and I talk almost every day too.
That's good.
So we're supporting one another.
I'm sorry, I didn't say this in my introduction, but I am the daughter of a mother who had children vanish from her life for decades. And I can tell you there was nothing wrong with my mother. There was just something there that made these children have to separate themselves in that way. There were 5 of us. 2 kids did that and 3 didn't. Wow. And none of the 3 of us can figure out why the other 2 did it.
Wow. Yeah. Well, thank you for saying that, Betsy, because it's, and when we look at, some of the lessons in the book, which we'll get to, I couldn't help but think of, some of you guys when going through the book and thinking about like, some of the ideas in the book are that, trauma and its effect on our life is determined by the story we tell about it, like the subjective story. And so, there's stories we tell ourselves when our kids or people around us treat us a certain way. If they treat us that way, it means we weren't good enough, or we are flawed in some way, or we're a horrible person, not a good person, like you said, Jen. But then the premise of some of the aspects of the book, The Courage to be Disliked, is that, maybe we can shift that story we're telling ourselves at least a little, to curb some of the ache that it brings to us. It'll never take it all away. But I hope that in the book, you took some of that messaging as something helpful.
My sister said I have to forgive myself. I have to.
Give yourself a what, Pat? This isn't
I have to forgive myself for thinking that I've done something that has made this happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like, this is on her.
Yeah.
This isn't on you.
Yeah, I think there is a level of that where, I mean, even in a situation where we objectively did something wrong. I'm not saying that any of that is your guys' situation, but I think of some of my other clients where they know objectively they have done something wrong. A lot of it is, you know, hey, you've suffered long enough for that choice that you feel is wrong. It is time. We do have to forgive ourselves. Either in a situation where we believe we've done something wrong or in a situation where we objectively have. Forgiveness is a big part of it for sure. Yeah. Well, Pat, I'm glad you're here with us today, as always, and I'm sorry that things are hard right now, but I'm so glad that we have resources here in the Power Club group of Power Pals to help. So
Yeah.
Nice to see Betsy too. I'm sorry, I just mentioned Mary, but you're also very welcome.
yeah, good to see
Well,
you.
you didn't know me from Adam.
Well, now we do.
When we say Power Pals, it makes me think of the Sour Patch Kids, and we need to be animated characters.
Okay, maybe I can. I'm gonna mess with the. I've already changed the name on Facebook to Power Pals, so we'll see if we can get some mascots. I like that. Okay, Carrie, it's now your time to shine.
Power Pals, yep.
Okay, can you hear me?
She's got it. Yes.
I parked the car, so.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you're safe. Introduce yourself.
I'm Carrie. I lived in Minnesota most of my life. 2020, we moved to Arkansas. I lived there until just November of this last year, and I'm back in Minnesota.
Oh, so you did move there. Okay.
So, yep. I got the move in there, and it was chaos.
As usual,
literally, moving's not fun.
Well,
so now, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and moving in the winter.
Oh, geez.
Oh, I know, the best time we could move. The cruddiest part of the year.
Yeah.
This is Chase.
Hey, Chase.
Oh.
He's a lover.
He's up there. He needed cuddles. He wanted to be part of the Power Pals.
Yeah.
No.
He's our mascot.
I threw an Easter egg for Pat in the Q&A when I was talking about cats. Her cat is the happy cat nervous system in there. So if you want to go back to Q&A 11 and look around 26 minutes.
That was so cute.
Chase featured. Well, Carrie, we're glad you're here. We're glad you survived the move, and we're going to be wishing you luck in your surgery coming up.
And since I moved to Minnesota back on November 22nd, I've already had one surgery. I had the rod removed out of my leg and all the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
And so they found that the fusion that I had done fused. So I got to go back through a refusion again.
Oh man.
No fun. We'll be praying for you on this journey with this surgery. So keep us updated, of course, in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, to give you guys a preview, next month our meeting will be on March 28th. That is going to give us a little more time for the next book, and it will also allow me to go to the Fight the Flame conference on March 21st. So I'll be speaking in Charlotte, North Carolina there. So anybody who's Betsy, if you want to make the trip over, I'll be in Charlotte that day. And then the next book, does anyone have a physical copy of that so we can let people know?
Yeah. Do you have it, Pat? I can go get it.
Yeah, if you guys can grab it and show it, that'd be great. I'm excited for this one. It is a tearjerker, though.
How do you all know what the books are ahead of time?
Oh, right. So now that you're here, Betsy, you will tell you in these meetings, but then also if you don't make it to the meeting, then it'll be in the recap. I post recaps of these meetings on YouTube every single time the day after. Right.
I didn't have time. Forgive me.
Okay.
I didn't have time to watch the last one. We were in the Keys.
No worries. So the next one is Pat and Jen had it up. When Breath Becomes Air. Okay, so look for that one. That'll be the next one.
And we don't need longer for this book because I'm getting through it like in one day. It's so good.
Yeah, you can't put it down, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
we can
excited
hear
for it.
that.
I think it'll be great. And so yeah, March 28th at 2 p.m. US Central Time will be when we meet next. Okay, so now that we've got that done and we've introduced ourselves, thank you guys for obviously having the courage to be so vulnerable. That's what this is all about. What do we think about the book?
Excuse me. Before we get into the book, can I share something?
Yes.
Because this will be quick. This past few days, my CRPS has been more of a flare, and I'm like, okay, sit in your tracks. What would Chase say? What are you thinking about? And what I really was thinking about was I need to find some doctor to give me some drugs. But in my head, I thought that is not what Chase would tell you to do. So what I was thinking about was my sister who died several weeks before I got pneumonia.
Oh,
So
sorry.
yeah, I
That's
just
part of your flare.
yeah, and I may cry, and I told myself I wouldn't talk about this.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? That's huge. That's part of what's going on. You didn't mention that in Power Play, House.
Yeah.
So she's my older sister.
Mhm.
I'm gonna grab a tissue.
Yeah.
And I did part of her eulogy. Um and so anyway, I'm going through this thinking, wait a minute, because my sister was an alcoholic, but every 6 weeks or so she'd sober up enough and she would all of a sudden, like a little gopher, pop up and call, hey Deb, it's Big Sis. Silly stuff. I had chicken for dinner. Bye. Then she'd call later in the day, but she always called when she was in a moment of sobriety. Well, she's not going to call anymore.
Yeah.
And so I wrote and wrote, and my therapist suggested a few movies I watched, and I watched Beaches.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, and that really, and I had no idea the character in Beaches died from the same thing my sister did.
Oh,
And it got out so much emotion.
Yeah.
I just cried and cried, and I'm still crying, but it helped the pain to go down.
Yes.
So I guess the point I'm trying to make is I didn't start calling around for drugs. I did what I knew had worked in the past, thanks to Chase. So I wrote and wrote and wrote about that, and then
you're not on any payments or any
no,
for CRPS?
no,
Oh, wow.
my doctors won't give me anything.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I do get ketamine infusions every 3 weeks. I'm
Mhm.
on Lyrica and Cymbalta, but I was looking for the like opioids,
Oh,
you know,
no.
and I don't want to go down that path. I don't. So I wrote a lot about my sister, and um, it's amazing to me because and then I've had an ongoing issue with my niece. My grandchildren are still in my life, but my niece has two little kids that I'm so attached to. They live 5 minutes apart. I've spent so much time with them until now. I got hit by a truck in 2023, and my life just that's how all this started. But anyway, well, when this came and I got the pneumonia, surprising to me, she showed up at the hospital. She texted me every day, sent me a picture of the kids, stopped in one day this week with homemade soup, and I haven't heard from her since. That's the pattern.
Yeah.
She can show up in the really emergency. And I thought too, is this because, her other aunt died that she's gonna step up? But no, I haven't heard from her in days. And I refuse to reach out to her because then I won't hear for a few days and I'll just feel worse. Or then she'll say something like, well, we're really busy, whatever. So I just haven't reached out to her and I haven't heard anything in several days. The amazing thing to me is what I've heard so far, all of us have family issues,
Mhm.
be it
I
a
know.
grandchildren,
Can you
a
believe it?
daughter, what the heck?
I know.
And it's crazy. We always think when we see someone else go through it, oh, that'll never happen to me.
And here we are.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
And
and-
how much of this
family issues?
CRPS is caused by family issues?
well, I'll
A
tell you
lot.
what, when I'm
And
in,
look at us, we're all women.
well,
Yeah.
and okay, so this is a good point, Pat. So let's dissect this a little bit. So when I'm in a consultation call with someone and I start recounting factors that contribute to a diagnosis with CRPS, I start recounting a lot of conflicts or challenges in life, whether it's the death of a family member, the estrangement of a child or grandchild or sister, or niece, which sounds a lot like knee, Deborah.
Mhm.
But I look at that and everyone every single time is like, whoa, that's me. That is what has happened. And when we talk about, how women are affected by autoimmune or chronic illnesses more often, it's about the statistic is like around 70% for a lot of them, like across the board, across the alphabet syndromes, as I call them. Why do you guys think that is?
Because women are more compassionate and
Nurturing.
Yes. Yes. Empathetic. Yes. And so the medical field does a horrendous job of explaining this. And they'll say women are more emotional. And that just sounds dismissive and it sounds
Oh,
ugly.
I hate that.
Yeah, I hear you. And so, the medical field will kind of say it that way, but you guys said it perfectly. Compassionate, empathetic, you care deeply about others. You care so much about others that oftentimes through just female instinct in general, you will self-sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just instinct, it's cultural.
True.
It's
Yeah.
cultural. Our culture places responsibility for what happens in the family on the woman.
That's such a good point, Betsy. You're absolutely right. And I never even thought about that, but you're totally right. And that weight becomes a lot to carry. And I've talked about this before, but the word sacrifice, right? The females sacrificing for the family. I want you to think about this for me, okay? What are the two most common areas that CRPS is diagnosed?
Hand and feet.
Hand and feet. Yep. So arms and legs, most common. Sometimes, of course, we see it in other places or there's, a spread to another place. But I also want you to think about the word sacrifice. Okay. So when you sacrifice a lot, when you give away a part of yourself for other people, and when something has a high price tag, we say it cost me a
arm and a leg.
Oh my
Arm and a
God.
leg.
That's right. And so symbolically, emotionally, the pain is demonstrating what has happened. And when I think about, I lost a part of me when they left or when they took him away. I lost a part of me when they died. And then what happens in extreme cases of CRPS, if people don't have the necessary guidance, is literally something gets amputated. And that is a very sad situation. And I think that, yeah, the idea and the statistic that 70 or 80% of women will be more likely to be diagnosed comparative to men with an alphabet syndrome, that speaks directly to my theory about these conditions, right? And so the exciting thing about that, though, is as we learn skills and as we learn to process these emotions in a very healthy way and set boundaries, etc., we can set ourselves free from them as well. And yes, it is a very challenging thing because we have outside factors outside of our control. Like I have a few clients right now that I'm working with that, yes, lost a sister. Not even just you, Deborah. I have, I think, 4 right now that had that happen midway through our sessions, right? And so then there's this whole introduction of grief and depression and the sadness there and that feeling of an emptiness when we don't have their phone call, right? When we can, vent to them or, say a little joke here and there. It's painful. And there's another thing, it's painful. We describe these emotions as physically hurting, which makes me think, do you guys remember the blushing story in the book?
Yeah.
What'd you think about that?
It was kind of crazy. Like a lot of the book, it was hard to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did love the way it was done with the younger guy. And I actually started audio with it yesterday because that's when I found out what the book was.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got a lot of it and it made sense, but I was kind of like the kid, you know, what
Uh-huh.
do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, how do you not put the parents, like, how are you equal with your parents?
Uh-huh.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the blushing story was, I think that was a one that was easier to go with.
To understand,
Like,
sure.
yeah, because, yeah, it was like she was the one putting it on herself.
Right. So there's a protection
Right.
to her blushing, right?
Yeah.
There's a utility. And it doesn't mean she's doing it on purpose,
Yeah.
right? There's like a subconscious protection of that.
Right.
And so if we translate this to CRPS, there were a lot of kids that I worked with at Texas Children's who would have CRPS and FND, two alphabet syndromes. And one of the psychiatrists, I found this very interesting. He whispered to the kid at one point because she was, doing well. He said, don't get better too fast. Dad still has work to do. And the idea behind that, and the kid kind of like grinned, like she kind of understood, right? There was a utility to her symptoms that was helping the family in a certain way. And so to Betsy's point, women have this role of being a vessel sometimes emotionally for the family. And so oftentimes when I work with kids, they are actually the thermometer for the household dynamic. And they're telling me a lot about the household and the stress in that household and things like that. And so, then you have to ask yourself, when I meet with a kid, when I meet with a child, I'm asking myself, what does this pain or symptomology do for them? In a positive way. It's not a positive. So for example, Deborah, you were saying, I want to get drugs. I need opioids. What was that going to do for you?
Get me out of my head.
Uh-huh. And into space, depending
Yes.
on the drug, right? And so we don't ask why the addiction, we ask why the pain.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So what did the alcohol do for your sister?
Kept her out of herself, out of her head, out of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what the gym does for me. That's what my trail mix does for me that I've been eating too much of again, as usual. So we have to think this book is really challenging because Adlerian psychology is based in goals. So we have to think in everything we do in our life, what's our goal? And if we can start to think about that, we can start to generally understand what is the pain trying to help us with? Well, a lot of times it's trying to get us out of our head. That is why people do things like self-harm, because that pain focuses us on the area of our body that we've injured, right? And so it's not purposeful, just like the blushing. It's not something we've made up or constructed. It's so incredibly real, you won't even believe
Right.
it. But there is a help or a power behind it, and the power is learning to listen. Yeah. So I liked that blushing story. That was more
Yeah.
digestible. I will agree with you, Mary, and also the others in here that had a hard time with some parts of the book. First two times I tried to listen to it, I hated it. And I was the kid. I was like, this guy's an
Yeah.
idiot, What do you
Yeah.
mean I did, But I always find that the books I dislike the most, the more that I like try to revisit and go back, even if I throw them into space in the beginning, they always end up bringing me a lesson that I wasn't expecting.
Right.
For sure. For sure.
So what was the gist of the book, since I couldn't get into it at all?
So were you reading it or listening to it?
I was reading it, but the past 2 weeks were in rehab in the hospital. So I'm
You
like,
didn't have time.
no.
Yeah.
So I will say, if you were reading it and you weren't liking it so much or not able to get into it, just listen to it. It's kind of fun because it's a little
Yeah.
kid and a philosopher. and they're having a dialogue and they use different voices.
Yeah,
And
it was
so
really good listening to.
yeah, and so that's a fun one. But basically, the premise is Adlerian psychology, and that psychology, the uh, idea, he kind of like differs from Freud, in that Freud said that
Yeah.
our traumas dictate our future, and there's not entirely much we can do about it, especially if we keep those traumas subconscious, like if we never analyze them. Adler, he basically disregarded that entirely, and he said trauma means nothing. The only thing that means anything is our story subjectively that we tell ourselves. And so, it's a both groups of psychology are widely misunderstood, especially because Freud had a lot of like really strange ideas. But they both have a big premise. So to give you an example, like let's say someone gets divorced, someone's parents get divorced in childhood, right? And then he never gets married. Well, you could say that because of the divorce, he was traumatized and was unable to find commitment in his later life. That's a story. That's a subjective placement on the trauma that happened. Versus if someone's parents got divorced and then that guy went on to get married and have 5 kids, you could say, well, his family was so broken that from that trauma, he needed to create a family unit that was strong as ever.
Right.
Same trauma, but the story molds the individual. And so the premise from the book in certain ways is that the subjective story you choose creates your reality. And so, that can be really hard if you apply it violently to everything in life. But it can also be really helpful.
Didn't Freud, one of his early work with criminals mostly, because that's the only people he could get to work on?
Right. So yeah, he
Psychotics
had a
and
lot of
crazy.
his premise from, people that were challenged in a lot of ways. And then also the thing that made Freud so polarizing was his ideas around like sexual tendencies. And so that made a lot of his ideas kind of just get like, people would just be like, we're not even going to go there. And that was the challenge for a lot of his ideas. But he was wrong about a lot of things, but wrong in such interesting ways. And a lot of things today we look back and we say, oh wow, that makes a lot of sense. He was right there. And so, yeah, these are all just people that are studying and practicing and learning in the field of psychology, which is the field of psychology and psychiatry comparative to medicine is an infant.
Yeah, well, it's like he said, repression's a bad thing. People who repress their sexual whatever were the ones who were in jail for that, sexual problems.
Sure.
Rape. So it's the same idea.
Yeah, no, and that's the interesting part about Freud. And I always use his quote in my videos, which is emotions will never die. They are buried alive and then come forth later in uglier ways.
Yeah.
And so he's the premise for a lot of the messaging with CRPS, right? But if you want to apply the courage to be disliked to CRPS in general, I viewed CRPS subjectively as the worst thing that ever happened to me while I was going through it. And then now today I look back and it's the best thing that ever happened to me, and because it taught me so much about myself and my life and how to, set boundaries and yeah, and meet you guys.
Right.
So to the book's credit, it does have a good premise on you define what the past and the things that happened to you mean in a lot of ways.
There's a good quote, Chase, on page 253. We should live more earnestly only here and now. What happened in the past has nothing whatsoever to do with your here and now. And what the future may hold is not a matter to think about here and now. If you're living earnestly here and now, you will not be concerned with such things. You are the only one who can assign meaning to your life.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one thing
Absolutely.
I really got out of it too, Pat. I put our lives were not determined by our past, but our choices we make every day. Today is a gift, live in the present.
Amen to that. And Pat, you guys both, you and Donna both picked an amazing quotes from that book, and that's exactly right. How many of us, being high achievers, perfectionists, all kinds of different things, how many of us actually do live in the present often?
Not many.
Not many.
No.
Mm.
Recently I've made it so my schedule, I only work Sunday through Wednesday. They're about 12-hour days each, but I cannot for the life of me. It takes me like Thursday and halfway through Friday to even allow myself to like enjoy the time off or the moment that I'm in. And I know, a lot of you guys resonate with that, especially Pat, I'm sure with your piano and everything. And yeah, it's a skill. And that is one of the things about the book that I loved is that you can have happiness in any moment. It's your choice. And I have a
also
friend.
like,
Oh,
oh,
sorry, go ahead.
sorry, Keith. I
Oh,
also like that he says our compass, what guides us should be our contribution to others.
I like that.
Say that again.
Our compass is the contribution to others.
I think that's especially what he says about interpersonal relationships are the root of all challenges.
This is the last two chapters. Like this, I thought the last two chapters summed up the whole book. Why didn't I start there?
That's how they kept you in. You get more and more frustrated all the way through, and then the last two, you're like, oh, okay. No, with what he's saying about interpersonal relationships, it's he says they're the root of all problems at first, but then with that quote, he's basically saying they're also the root of all happiness. And yeah, it's the balance. And Betsy, I saw your message. If you have to step away, no problem. It was great to have you.
Bye,
Betsy,
Betsy.
Bye, Betsy.
Do you have Facebook?
Nice meeting you, Betsy.
I do. Nice meeting you all too. When I hear the door open downstairs, I'm gonna just peel
Jump
out.
Okay. If you're message me on Facebook, and then I can get you into the Power Pals, okay? If you'd like to be. Very good. Yeah, no, and okay, so Pat, so then what's everyone's take on the book? Let's do this. I want to do a out of 10. So 1 being, why did you give me this, you crazy person? And 10 being best book I ever touched my hands to ever. What do we think?
5.
To be honest, I didn't even read it. So
5, 2 5s.
Yeah,
Jen,
5.
Jen gave it a didn't read it. That's okay. Sometimes we're not able to read it.
like I
I'll
said,
give it a
after my
7.
depression, I haven't read any of the books for a couple months. So I'm back in it though. I got the book.
And remember, this is a support group first, book club second. So if you can't read them, it's okay. Mary, what'd you say?
I said 7.
Let's go. We got a Mary. Yeah. All right. You can tell my bias. I'll give it a 7 too. I think that's fair on from my perspective. And then Deborah, what about you?
Me, I didn't read it at all.
Okay, well,
I'm not alone. Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah, I was in the hospital and rehab, and I couldn't get into it, and I didn't give it a chance. And that's
all right.
I didn't either. But
If you read it and didn't care for it, you really need to listen to it. It makes. I mean, I didn't. read
listen
it at
to
all,
it.
But
I
listening
do have
to
the
it,
audio.
and I didn't even start it till yesterday. So I listened to 5 of 6 hours.
Wow.
So it was good.
Yeah, listening to it does change. What'd you say, Betsy?
I only started it this morning, and I only got about 2/3 of the way through it because I found out the relatives were coming over, and we just got home from out of town, so we had a big mess. We had to at least haul the big mess back into the bedrooms and shut the doors.
Yeah, that's all right. You guys
Summed it up, so I'll let Thomas read it.
We can choose to be happy or we can choose to be unhappy, that we should set boundaries with others in situations that cause us to be unhappy and therefore affect our well-being. Also, every problem we have in life is a single cause. We care too much about what others think of us. We also must break free from past traumas and find happiness.
Yeah.
But on that note, I set boundaries, and this is what I'm getting. But I also have 2 very toxic people that aren't normal people that would take that as, let's work on it, let's just talk, instead they just shut you out. They don't want to ever be criticized in a nice way or any way. I mean, I set boundaries for our life, and it's backfiring. Finally, I say
I just had a
So
question. So do boundaries, do they have to be flexible then? It's not like they're mutable, right? I mean, that's my question.
so I think ultimately what the book is suggesting is that you can definitely set boundaries, but then also your the way you take what happens in response and the story you tell about yourself makes a big
Yes.
difference. So Jen, you have set a boundary and then they've reacted accordingly, and then you've received the message, I am not a good person. And we know here in the Power Club that you are a good person. You're a wonderful
Mhm.
person. And,
They're not understanding and they don't, it's them.
yeah, right. And so you look at
Well,
it
it's
and
all about them right now.
Yeah.
what's
I
that?
mean, it's all about them. They don't even care that I'm still trying to heal. They don't ask. They don't. I try and set boundaries of that. This is when it works for us to go for PT. I'm still doing PT at the gym, like trying to
Yeah.
get grip strength back. And I'm
Yeah.
21 months from accident. So
Yeah.
I'm still trying so I can open little things in the kitchen and stuff. I mean, I'm still
Yeah.
trying to get stuff back.
Mhm.
And that's important. That's all that works with my husband's schedule. That's all that it's a consistency that we're getting to the gym. It's supposed to help me mentally. And they
Mhm.
don't care that,
Mhm.
oh, I had to cancel the FaceTime with the boys. And then I get told, well, that should be more important. I mean, they just throw this little dig in like your grandkids should be more important, but you chose to go to the gym. That's
Mhm.
what my son says, but he's not, I got to understand where it's coming from and
Sure.
that, but it still it's still hurts. And it's still like, I don't want to put up with that anymore.
Yeah.
You have not even asked in a year how I'm doing. I
Yeah.
mean, like you don't care. So why should I bother to care? But it's the grandkids. It's like, yeah, it didn't work out because of the time difference, and we really had to go. That's what I'm saying. Is I let them know the boundaries of like this. This is our thing. We could work around that. Can't you work a little bit with me? No, it's
So
got to be all them. So I don't know what to do. I can't
so
change.
the right. So the challenge here is that you're attempting to set boundaries in an effort to change someone. We can't even change ourselves.
Well, no, I'm not trying to change them. I'm trying to. Well, I mean,
Work with them.
I would like them to respect that we have our lives and that we
Mhm.
have to do things too. And our lives are not easy either. Whether
And do
they
you
have
think
kids, our lives aren't easy. I have pain. Rick's got work,
so do you
aging.
think that they respect you now?
No, they don't at all.
And you are wanting them to respect you, right?
Yeah, but I keep asking them to respect me for after years of putting up with it.
Right.
They're not going to. I know
Right.
I'm not going to change them because that's who their personalities are. I know that now.
Right.
I really do. And I've been doing a lot of learning. And Pat sent me even a video last night that was unbelievable about toxic people. And they are very toxic for me. At
Mhm.
least right now. I
Mhm.
actually need to distance myself and
Mhm.
say I love my grandkids, but I can't not have I am not healing because I'm allowing them to be so toxic
Yeah.
and say bad things about me and make me feel low. And
Mhm.
You don't
I
need that.
Are they reverting to being spoiled children or something
they
in their
are
mind?
acting like children. They seriously, Charmy acted like I scolded her as a teenager and she got all pissed off that we told her this and I'm an adult. I don't have to, you can't talk to me. She told me that. You can't talk to me this way. I mean, I'm shocked how well, that I actually said something after years of just letting it be whatever you want. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's so much. And then cruel things started being said in emails to us and to me, even though it's my husband and I felt this way and I said that, but it's me that's getting the brunt of the cruel words and that we harmed our grandchildren and all these different things, like words that just cut me like a knife. Like, just what? That's the last thing we would want to do. I mean, so the value as a person and a grandma have now been put into question by the words this week that she said.
Right. And so
I know where we are. I know that we are good, loving people. So I know that's not true, but it still hurts when you have
it does
somebody
hurt.
Oh,
you're
yeah.
cultivating a relationship with, and you thought you finally were safe enough to say something. Nope.
Mhm.
So I have to be, I can no longer take it.
Yeah.
But it
When
still
we
hurts that I'm like gonna walk away right now.
Yeah. When we get off, Jen, if you have time, I would highly encourage you to write down this stuff. Because right now, as you talk, it's just coming out and coming out and coming out and coming out. And I'm glad that we are a space for that. but I want you to write it down, because guess what? We are all really good we all sit here and we all feel a lot of what you're feeling. That's what we're good at. We're empaths like that. But a lot of times we are really bad at feeling what we're feeling ourselves. So I want you to write this down on a piece of paper, and then I would even go so far as to read what you've written to a camera and watch it back.
Yeah.
A lot of what we need is to be seen and understood when it comes to our emotions. And, personally seeing ourselves is a big part of that. And so I would really encourage you when we jump off to write. And then maybe even ring Pat and read it to her, and then she can, be there for you in that way too. But yeah, this stuff is really hard. And sometimes we get the message of like, we set a boundary and then everything will be okay. Definitely not true. In fact, that's the start of the challenge, because sometimes even setting boundaries feels wrong. It feels like we are, when we're choosing ourselves, it means that we are betraying others around us, and we feel like wrong or bad people for that. When you start to heal and help or take care of yourself in the way that you've taken care of others for so long, it feels really odd. It feels selfish, in certain ways.
But it's not us. We can't control what they do or how they're reacting.
Right.
And it's hard to think that way because we're so used to pleasing everyone else.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is taking care of yourself.
Yeah. And the biggest thing about that too, with those that are estranged from grandchildren or even family members or nieces and nephews, right? The more you care for yourself, the more you work on yourself, when the time comes that those individuals are able to enter back into our life, we will be in such an amazing place because of the work we've done to care for us, that we can offer them even more than we already did before, even more love.
Here.
Yes. And that's the excitement about it, right? Whether it's, next month or a couple years from now, that's the place we will be, where we'll be able to be there for people. And we'll be feeling real great too at the same time. So
Hope so.
yeah. Yeah. This has been a hard month for a lot of people, huh?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'm always here to listen, and I'm not sharing too much all the time. But I've definitely, since the documentary came out, I've definitely had some challenging days, because I've seen some really wonderful comments and messages, and I've also gotten some, stuff that has been hard for me to read. And I, being human, just like you guys, I had even gone through and screenshotted some of these messages, and I thought, you know what, I'll make a video to tell these people how I'm actually not bad, and maybe they'll understand. And I had all 60 screenshots, and I was going to make this video, and I was thinking this is going to be a great idea. And then one of my friends said, "Hey, what's your objective here?" And I was like, "Well, I just want them to know that, I'm a good guy, and I'm trying to help people." And my friend said, "Well, you have all these people reaching out to you. Aren't you already a good guy?" And I was like, man, that makes so much sense. And so I deleted it. I deleted the folder, and I said, you know what?
Yeah.
It's okay. And even if I made that video, even with the best of intentions, those individuals that made those comments might feel attacked. And I don't want that.
Right.
I want them to feel comfortable to come and talk to me when they're ready. And so it was and even now, as I was going through the book, it was like perfect timing. I was like, I was telling this story in my head about the type of person I was because of the things these people were saying. But in reality, if I really thought about it, or I asked someone who knew me, I know the type of person I am. And Jen and Pat and Mary, you guys know the type of people you are. I know firsthand because we've all talked about some hard stuff, and you guys are some of my favorite people.
Aw.
I mean it. I do. And I look forward to these meetings. I really do.
Yeah, there's an online critic named the Critical Drinker. He's a drunken Scotsman.
I've seen him.
What?
Someone was bad-mouthing him. He read the comment. He said, "You know what? I don't respond to these. I have over 100,000 views on each of my videos. What do I care what one person thinks? It doesn't,
Yeah,
I care about entertaining. So, and for you, it's healing people, which is more important.
Yeah, and the more people you heal, Chase, and help to heal, just gonna keep growing and growing and growing. You're gonna have these naysayers come along. You just have to realize that you are doing the right thing for so many people.
Well, thanks. I'll tell you one thing. There was one individual who I was they had said a few comments and I was like, you know what? I just have to block this person. I can't do it.
There you go.
Well, guess what? Guess what? I'll tell you something funny. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let myself just breathe and I'll give it some time. That very individual booked a consultation with me. And
Oh, wow.
and I was like, wow, you know, how, and maybe I'll get on and they'll scream at me. I don't know.
I was gonna say, I'm like, oh no.
But based on what they filled out, they're actually reaching out for help. And so,
Yeah.
you know, I have this thought now that hurt people sometimes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if I'm the vessel for that, then that's okay. That's totally okay. And there's clients watching this who know that I've had some clients, you know, where one week they're cursing at me and then the next week they're saying, you know what, I actually, thanks for that. And so, you know, there's this delicate balance, you know, we're human, we have emotions and it would be totally wrong of me as someone who teaches us to feel our emotions to say that the anger isn't welcome, right? That's the one emotion I kind of want us to feel.
So Chase, why? I mean, I'm having a hard time. Why are so many people is it because they're angry they've tried everything and it didn't work? Is that and they think of you as like some snake oil, like salesman or something?
It was David, I called you a scam artist. He didn't even talk to you.
Yeah. And actually I'm this isn't even the same one, but I'm fairly certain David's on my, I've messaged, he's the one I messaged on YouTube, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So we messaged back and forth and he ended up saying, you know what? Okay. I'll meet you in the consult, right? And so that's good. But yes, so this is what happens. They see another individual who has promises like other people in the past have, and then the past informs the future, right? For example, I had a girlfriend. She was a blonde-haired, tall girl, and it was the horrible, worst girlfriend I ever had. And then after
I dated her in high school.
Yeah, right. And after that, anytime I saw blonde hair, no way. I'm not attracted. I'm not interested. None of it. And that's past informing future. But all of those lovely ladies, they were probably just fine, you know, people to possibly date. But I just drew the line. And so what happens is anyone that is commenting on a social media forum, you know, even if there's evidence of them helping people, it feels scary, right? Just like for me, even if there's evidence of that girl being a good significant other in the past, no, that feels scary for me, right? And so there's an element of fear. There's also an element of, in my suggestion that we can reduce our pain, some people may feel like that's me suggesting that it's not real or that it's invalid, and that's a hard thing to. If you think that, then there's going to be anger towards me as well, right? And so a lot of times it's individuals who haven't seen any of my stuff yet. Like sometimes they'll say something like, I can't believe he would charge money. And then I'm like, well, I have all this free stuff. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they go for it, you know?
Well, and in Dave's defense, he's a really good guy. We've known each other a long time online, but he says he's got a gun to his head. It's called the suicide disease for a reason. He's very angry. He's in a lot of pain. Yeah. And you were like that for years. So
yeah. I see you feeling emotional for him, Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to help Dave. Dave, if you somehow watch this, please come to our consult.
Yeah, because if they saw how many people, I mean, truly looked at how many people you helped, like the 5K, how could those people do the 5K if something didn't work?
True. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's hard. You know, it is fear. A lot of it's fear of having hope again, fear of being disappointed, fear of being the one person, you know, I'm not helping or anything like that. Fear of failure.
Fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown. Yeah. Here's a good one. If you were raised your entire life in a cage and I came up to you and I said, hey, you can get out of this cage. There's a whole world out here. And I open the door. You going to come out?
That's all you know. You may not.
Right, right. There's a comforting feeling to that. And I work with, so speaking about relationships, right? And pain being tied to dynamics in relationships. I work with several clients. I would say a third of my clients right now are in relationships romantically that they probably shouldn't be in, or are working through some stuff in. But the idea, it is so bad, and when they speak to me, it's so tough. But then when even the idea, the suggestion of starting from the beginning with someone new is terrifying. And so it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't. And that's another hard part, right? If I suggest that there's an alternative, it's scary. Because remember what Adler says, a lot of times with this pain, there's a goal, subconscious sometimes even. And if I take away, I actually have not this week, but the next week, I have a video coming out, my Alphabet Syndromes episode 3. And I'm talking with a client's mom in that. And I say, what happens if she has chronic pain as well. I say, what happens if I take away the pain, like that as a reason for everything that has happened, and we say it's, the emotions. And she started crying immediately. And she said, well, that means I have to face a lot of things in my life. And that is scary. So it's easier to call me, snake oil or bad than it is to confront all of that heaviness. I mean, Jen, first day you got on, remember what you said?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not going to make me call so-and-so, are you? And
right. My parents are, because I was seeing some videos and I'm like, I won't have anything to do with you. If that's your way of getting, that's what you believe in.
Yeah.
Because I saw the letters thing. That's what started. I'm like, okay, but you don't send those letters usually. Right. But I didn't know that part. I'd only seen, kind of little tidbits of you saying about letters. And I'm like, well, you're not going to make me have to call out and like put the first foot forward when it's their issue, their fault.
Yeah. But then what happened?
Well, it's still in progress, but
sure. But you have it's instead of like complete roadblock, it's like, well, maybe.
Yes. Well, I mean, when we were ending in October, it went from, that was May, and it went from after our 101s in the end of October, I was getting ready to think about sending a Thanksgiving card to both. And I hadn't even written a letter to both or anything. It was like my whole like demeanor had changed, but then I did, and I didn't get a response. So then I thought they're choosing now. They don't want anything to do with me after 15 years. And so I went through that whole emotional, that's horrible. That sucks. That's not what I was maybe expecting. And we weren't one-on-one. So I didn't have your guidance. I wish I would have had like another couple months to go through the serious part of it. Yeah. So that's when I went into depression. That's kind of because some things happened. And so then my brother had given me the wrong address. So it came back. And so then I still had hope. I'm like, well, I'm going to send a Christmas card now with it. So then I did that. And I did get a text or an email, but it was very short from her. And it wasn't like lovey, like we've missed you, anything. I didn't get that feel good. So I was very cautious, and I was already starting to feel depressed because I had gone through that emotional month and a half of it already. So I was on guard. And then it was right before Christmas. And then she was just like, well, I'm not doing well. And she didn't even wish me a Merry Christmas. And it was like, you do that to strangers. And so I was just like, I don't have the energy for this. I am in a bad spot. And then she threw out some digs and some, like nice in one sentence. And the next was like throwing out some stuff. I don't, now I remember you. And I didn't want anything. Pat knows this. I was like, I don't care anymore now. It was a mistake.
Okay.
So my husband encouraged me, you need to tell her what you have, first of all. She doesn't know anything, and explain that you just really emotionally can't handle this anymore. And then I told her everything that happened because she threw out some digs of stuff about it. And I'm like, you are misunderstanding. And she even lied and said she had tried for a year to send stuff. And I just came right back at her. I've had the same phone number. I've had the same, anyway, I just threw it back, and I just told her, no, this is what happened. And I just let it all out. And I actually was like, afterwards, Rick saw a whole different demeanor. And I'm like, because I no longer cared. I was like, I did not get that. You're sorry ever. I didn't get that. So I am 15 years old or years later, raw from it, still feeling it. You've gone on with your life, I guess, thinking that I chose not to respond to those. But anyway, it just went back and forth. And finally I just told her, and if you can't, this is where I'm at. I think I actually made a mistake. I'm not in a position to deal with this, deal with you, how you're acting. And anyway, and the only way I will be is if you realize that and come back nicer, basically. I said it in a way that she would understand. I don't want it if you can't come back and be sorry and start fresh.
Yeah.
And and then I finally got like 2.5 weeks later, I text and a little heart at the end. So it was encouraging of like, she's realizing she's about to go into surgery, but she's like, I'm going to write you a letter. I feel like I need to really think about what I say. But they were like, nothing mean. Like, she knows, like, don't even bother. So I'm hoping that I get a sincere apology type letter and we could start fresh, because I told her everything.
So
I just let it all out, and that needed to be done because I was at the point where I'm not getting what I need. And
yep. So you went from not talking to them for a long time to putting yourself out there. And it's not, when we put ourselves out there and when we send the letters and we do stuff like that, it is not easy, and they will not respond the way we want them to. But at the end of it, you got a lot of this emotion out, and there's a potential open door there, and that's to be celebrated, even if it's hard. So I have, for example, I have clients I'm working with now where they're wanting to make a change in their marriage, and they're having the first dialogue with their spouse about that. And we set up, we get ready to do that. We have everything prepared. They have the conversation. Their spouse's face or the way they take the information or something is just slightly different than what they thought. And they say, everything is ruined. This was a horrible idea. The reality is that it's not going to be easy. If it was, you would have done it a long, long time ago.
Right.
It is a challenge because you're dealing with other people and other people's emotions. And so, yeah, all things considered, is it sad that we entered kind of a depressive state for that time period? Of course, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. And that's the big part that we have to remember.
Okay.
Because otherwise you would have carried this with you until death.
Yeah.
You would have thought they want nothing to do with me. It's all my fault, etc. But through this experience, you've learned, whoa, I remember what they're like. Maybe I need like kind of a distance, but I'm kind of like, maybe we can get a little closer. That changes the future, and it might pay off in ways we never thought, even if it pays off in a way of, I know for sure I want nothing to do with them.
Right.
Right. And
right.
I feel better about that,
Right. Wait, well, like when she said she was having a surgery that I had in 2020, we had just a few little changes that I just told her to be prepared for. And they were just quick little but that was it. I didn't put too much emotion into, or like caring, or because I haven't gotten that letter yet or anything. So I'm not going to just start fresh. That's how our whole life was before this. It's just, if you have a problem, then you just 2 years later come back and nothing happened, just start over. I can't do that moving forward.
No.
So I had to guard.
It doesn't mean that you won't have a relationship, but the relationship will never be the same. Like, it's going to be different.
It will be, and it needs to be.
Right.
But I'm at the point right now that I'm like on guard, and I'm like, she knows I put it out there. I don't want it if it's not going to be starting with something different, really apologizing to me. So so then it's like, then she had the surgery, and I almost started feeling like, oh, I should ask her how she did and all this, but I didn't, because I'm like, that's just where I'm going to get, I'll be the empathetic, and, she'll pull me in again. And I didn't. And then my birthday was Thursday, and I didn't get, this would have been the time for her to really do it, is send the letter with a birthday card. Like, that really would have been probably pretty good to get on my good side and start fresh.
But that's the kind of person you are. You would send a birthday card. You would be nice.
Well, she used to send me nice stuff like that. But anyway, I got a text, and it was, hope your day was well. And I just said, thanks. And I left it at that. I mean, I'm like, I can't put any more into it right now. And
it sounds like you put a boundary on yourself, not her.
Put a boundary on myself, but I'm also dealing with the other I can only handle so much this week. Like,
sure. You can only what?
Charmy and
You
Tristan.
can only what? You can only what so much? Okay, so what I want to point out here is, Mary, you said totally right. The relationship will be It might be there, it might not, but it'll be different. And that is something I want to make sure that I say during this, as we get closer to the end here, is that a lot of people will reach out to me before we work together, or even at midway through, and they'll say, "How do I get back to being who I was before this?" And I say, I want you to really think about if that's what you actually want. Because there are aspects of who we were, although great, that we had turned up to 11. And those aspects are the very things that put us in these situations. A lot of those aspects are the seeking of approval from others, in people pleasing, et cetera, et cetera. And so, Jen, yeah, bravo to you. You send back a certain text and you say, that's it. That's what I'm leaving the door open that wide. And I'm not going to give away or sacrifice an arm and a leg for this
There you go,
relationship.
sacrifice it. And it was hard. It was hard in my soul to like not be kind and, you know, how would your surgery go? And, you know, but I just had to step back and be like, no, she hasn't done her work yet.
Yeah, right. 100%.
And I need to start treating myself better. Like I want better from people. If not, they can't be in my life.
Yes, I am so proud of you for that.
That is very good.
Pat's scared?
Who said that?
Why is Pat scared?
Because she says, I want to be treated better.
That's scary?
It's not going to happen for my son. I know that for a fact. But I have to distance myself from him. He's got things I can't even change. So,
and things are very different, even with my husband passing.
Sorry.
It's almost, thank you. It's almost a little funny because he was so outgoing, talked to everyone. And my friend was saying she was an introvert. I said, I think I am kind of too. She said, Mary Esther, do you realize you talk to even the person in the line at the grocery store behind you? And I was like,
Yes.
I just like to be kind. Like I'll see somebody, oh, I love that shirt, or your hair is beautiful. And I was never like that. But I think now, maybe because I like people to say nice things to me, I don't even know. But I have completely changed. And I said, I think I do it. I don't know if it's because I miss him or I want to be just kinder to people, knowing that I maybe need more of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We give to others the things we need the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 100%.
But just recently, I've been thinking about my son and husband a lot.
Yeah.
So, but it's okay. You know, I think of the happy times, and there's something that'll be said, or I'll see something and it's like, oh, I would call them by now, you know, I'd want to pick up the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that kind of stuff is hard. And I was talking to Deborah about that recently. I was saying, is your sister's phone line still active? You know, because
oh my gosh,
I know in my grieving, I used to text my mom's phone all the time, and just like send texts in the same way I used to. Of course, I'd never get a response, but like in that moment, you know, it was nice to text that, and then eventually her number got taken. But but yeah, that kind of stuff. If you can't, you know, if you're missing someone, again, the writing is huge. Voice memos on your phone, like, you know, acting as if you're on the phone with them and just saying what you need to say and then stopping the voice memo. All of that has psychological benefit. Do you know that the brain, if you imagine playing piano or you actually play piano, the brain can't tell the difference? The brain actually, if we scan it, it looks like piano. And so, you know, that is
your ears can.
What's that?
But your ears can.
Oh, of course your ears can, yes. But like the visualization, of course, is important.
I'm going to visualize my pianist.
Pat's ears will definitely pick it up. That's for sure. She's well trained.
Definitely.
What's the youngest you would start someone on piano, Pat, while we're talking piano?
What'd you say?
That?
What's the youngest you would start someone at piano?
I don't start anybody till they're 7 because they have to have the finger dexterity. They have to be able to concentrate somewhat and focus.
Yeah.
And what it takes a 5-year-old 2 years to do, a 7-year-old can do in 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. My grandparents, I was just telling Rick this the other night, Pat, and we were talking about you. And then I said, and he plays by ear. So he was playing a song for me, heard on the radio coming home. So anyway, I said, my grandparents put me in lessons from age 5 to 10. I can't play. Like I wouldn't know how to sit down and look at, I don't know, it's gone. And it's like, that's so sad because I did recitals. I mean, I was really good. And I'm like, how did that just disappear? Then I
But
did flute.
did you want to, or did they want you to?
Oh, I loved it.
Okay.
They made me special. I was the oldest and I would always spend time with them, and they made me the special. I'm so thankful I had them because my parents, my younger brother and sister, they spent all their time with them. Like I was the one that didn't need the focus or something.
Right.
So they gave it to me what I needed. So yeah, until we moved away at age 10, which was a bummer. But yeah, so I thought about that. I'm like, I can't play. But I played the flute after that for 5 years and did recitals and was in high school. I couldn't play that either. So I don't know.
Well, here we go. Here's a great example of neuroplasticity. I was in gymnastics when I was little. I cannot do a backflip anymore. It sounds so silly when I frame it that way, but what you train yourself to be able to do, you can do. Now, granted, there's human limits, right? Like it might be dangerous if I try a backflip now, but when it comes to like the flute or the piano or even learning to touch something or walk again, it is all something you can train, and you can train it in the good way. You can also train it in the bad way. You can get to this point where you're afraid to go to the mall because you've trained yourself that mall is scary from a safety aspect.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's how my daughter's like that. She was at a mall when there was a mall shooting, and she hasn't been to the mall since. It's been a very long time.
Yeah,
she won't go to the mall.
I actually have had a client who had something like that happen. And that was one of the things we worked on to help bring the fear of being in public spaces like that down. And so what we did is we started by going to an ice cream shop because it's small, not a lot of people.
Right.
And we went on an obscure day, like a Tuesday. And then, we slowly built up from there. But again, that's neuroplasticity, just like the cats that I used in the Q&A, the nervous cat, working it down to the calm chase that Pat has there.
Oh my gosh.
That's a neuroplasticity. But we are actually getting past time now that we have for Power Club. So it has been really awesome to talk with all you guys. And I just want to say thanks so much for the courage to be vulnerable again. I know that is not easy for us to allow ourselves to be seen, but it's very healing. And that's a big reason I like having Power Club.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Chase, for your time.
Yes, Chase.
Next month, I'll see you March 28th at 2 p.m. U.S. Central Time, and we'll do When Breath
we will
Becomes
all
Air.
have read the book, right, girls?
Yeah,
I'm going to read this book. Yeah.
There's one part in the book that I still remember where I was the first time that I read it. And I really like this book, so I hope you guys like it. It's a little different than some of the other stuff that we've read. But I hope it'll be a good one.
Okay.
So
all right, thanks. Bye, everyone.
Right. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the March 2026 Power Club meeting. And this month we are going over the book When Breath Becomes Air. And one thing I want to say now, but I also have said in the intro, is that unfortunately February's Power Club meeting got corrupted, so the recording wasn't able to make it to YouTube. So if you're just catching up and you're really confused at how we're on this book, I certainly apologize. And to give you a preview, so you know right away if you're watching this, next month's book is going to be the book No Bad Parts, which I'm very excited about, and actually was the inspiration for Module 7, Step 1 in the online course. So some of the inner child work that we do within the course started from me learning about internal family systems, and that's theory in psychology. So should be a very exciting book. But today we have kind of a different book in regards to material. And I'm interested, before I say anything about it, to hear what everyone here today thought about the book in general.
I guess I'll go. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jen.
Oh, okay. At first I'm thinking, I mean, it was a good book. I just I was wondering why do you choose this book for us? Like, it was just like I was trying to figure it out, but I mean, I started out in the medical field, so I love medical stuff. And like, I know it sounds weird, but like the cadaver, I did that in anatomy. I mean, it resonated with like his story of what he had to go through. Like to be a surgeon and his whole journey and how much he had to go through was kind of cool. And but it was sad. And I told Rick that, and he's like, it would have been better if he like survived it and then like went on to be like the I mean, I guess my point would be, I think it was what it was getting at is that we're in a lot of pain, but we can choose how we are in it. We can choose to still find happiness. He's still continued to be a neurosurgeon, even in with cancer. Came back. I mean, I'm like, man, he had determination. So I guess my point would be is like, you have your choice of, you could sit on the couch and just bum out and just focus, which I did for a long time. I mean, until I found you and got steps. I mean, that was what I was doing, and it was horrible life. And the existence of thinking 30, 40 more years of this, no, thank you. So it was like, I see the point of focusing more on joy and happiness and what you can get in your life, because it's short. You don't know how long you're going to have.
Yeah.
He was young. So I guess that's my point. I don't know. I mean, what other people think?
Yeah. Go ahead, Deborah. You want to say what you were thinking of the book?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I at first I thought, what the heck? I do not have a medical background, nor do I want one. And when he was going through all that cadaver and taking out, I'm like getting this visual. And for me personally, I can't even watch like a CSI or anything with any surgery or anything like that.
I love those shows.
Yeah, I can't. It just makes me think of all the surgeries and everything that I went through, and I can't.
Oh, gotcha.
So anyway, but I stuck with it. But I too was thinking, wonder why he picked this book, and scratching my head.
Yeah.
Towards the end, I appreciated the realization that he came to, that, gosh darn it, people are people. You're not just treating some 70-year-old person that you don't care about. This person has a history and family and a life. And I guess I appreciated it and looking at it from the angle of, I don't think a whole lot of the medical field for the most part. So I appreciated that he kind of woke up at the end. I don't know how else, but so I read it. And actually, once we were through the whole cutting up the body part, I kind of was really interested and stuck to it.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm even more interested in the coming month's book. So
sure.
That's all I have to say about it.
I love it. How about you, Betsy?
Well, I, for once in my life, have not read the book.
That's all right. And this is a good moment to say that this is support group first, book club second. So coming to the group and having not read it is no problem at all. Even more so no problem considering I didn't put the last Power Club out. So it might have been hard to know what the book was. That's the first time that's happened. It shouldn't happen again, as far as that corruption goes with the video file. But the reason for the book was to do a few things. First, it was to give us some appreciation of the path that medical providers take and the complex and challenging aspects of their lives. So there's some empathy there, for some of the doctors, because when I went through CRPS, I blamed my surgeon for like a lot of things. And I blamed him for causing my difficulties, blamed him for causing my CRPS, blamed his reaction, calling it, unempathetic. There was a lot of anger that I had towards him. And then in going through, I dissected a cadaver in my schooling, and I went through long hours of schoolwork and clinical rotations, unpaid challenges that gave me a new appreciation for the human beings that I was interacting with in the medical field. But then on top of it, the thing that I think this book is really great about is showing us that also the humbling experience that you can have by understanding both sides. So he as a medical provider, he had really been indoctrinated into practice and being, methodical and things like that. But he was a very empathetic person, which you may have noticed throughout the book when he was discussing, the rage that he felt for, like, for example, when he was at that psychiatric ward and he was saying, these, why won't their family come to visit these
Oh,
patients?
yeah.
Some of the complexities of what the medical profession did to him in his marriage, with his busyness and his striving and his perfectionism. But then also at the end, when he was humbled and he realized, just how hard physical therapy was after sending so many patients there. And just his, coming to, waking up, as you said, Jen, or Deborah, I can't remember, but waking up to understand, just what his patients had gone through as well. So I thought it was
Deborah.
really, yeah, yeah. Okay, Deborah. But I thought
She hit it
that
on the
was,
head.
yes. And so I thought that was a really good book for us to go through, and a little bit different, a little shorter than our other books. And it just kind of shows the complexity of the human experience. And yes, how when you're facing a terminal illness, in this way, what decisions you might make about trying to live and how you will live. So all of that meaning for sure.
You read a book called A Whole New Life by Reynolds Price?
I haven't.
You should.
Okay, tell me about it.
And I'm saying this more to Chase than the other two of you. This was a book that was extremely good for me to read during a very difficult time in my life, which is now a long time ago. But I had undiagnosed psoriatic arthritis, and it was all over my body. It presented atypically, so nobody at Duke could figure out what was wrong with me. They just knew that I didn't have rheumatoid arthritis, and I could barely stand and walk. It hurt to lay in bed. All of my joints were swollen, and of course nobody was treating me because nobody could figure out what I had. And this went on for quite a while. And during that time, I read Reynolds Price's book, and I think he was a teacher at Duke, either that or UNC. I shouldn't mix those things up. You can't do that around here.
That's
but he went through in his life, he developed a tumor on his spine, and it caused a great deal of pain and a great deal of disability because it was actually impinging on nerves, and he was losing ability to do things because the nerves were, involved in the tumor. But it talks about how, that's why it's called A Whole New Life. He talks in it about how he made his life. He had the life that he had before the tumor, and then he had the tumor and he made a new life, and then things changed with the tumor and he made a new life. So sure. He has a really, really horrible affliction. So for that reason, you might not want to read it, but his outlook on life is the thing that was so educational to me at the time.
Sure.
It's like, because I did look at it as I had no life. I could barely get out of the house. I couldn't stand and talk to people. I couldn't, all those things. But I did have a life.
Yeah.
I had a different life.
Well, it sounds like I've read over a little bit of it here, and yeah, it sounds like, deriving meaning in different phases of life, whether it's afflicted by illness or, other challenges, is really important for sure. And maybe that's a book that we can look at for the future in the Power Club. I think that'd be cool. But
You
yeah,
might want to you might want to read it first.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'll check it out and we'll see, because I'm looking for some more in the future. Absolutely.
I think we should read a book on toxic people.
On toxic people. Okay. We can find one like that. Sure.
Like having to deal with like the let them theory, was like, certain things it's really hard to. So you have to learn, if you have like a toxic narcissistic like son, like I do, I've had to like step away because he is actually harming me.
Yeah.
The way, and I've allowed him to treat me badly, to say things to me that are so hurtful and disrespectful over these years. And he's 30, almost 34. So I have given him that permission in a way to treat me that way by not standing up for myself. But it was out of fear in the early 20s of losing him. And then it was out of fear now of losing the grandkids. So I finally stepped up and said something. And yeah, right now I don't have anything with the grandkids right now. But you know what? I've had to step away because it's wrecking me, and I'm not healing. I'm not getting past the hump. I mean, I'm healed a lot, but I'm like not getting to the other end. And I'm feeling better. I have a focus with the jewelry business stuff, but like that's giving me something fun to think of, because I'm tired of focusing on pain. I just really am. I'm trying to get more life, because I can't imagine the life I was living. It just wasn't much fun. And I'm sure everybody can relate to that. It's not fun. And so when you could find at least something to cling on to, give you a little hope of there's a different life out there. But my son, I just think that I read, did some YouTube videos on toxic people. This one lady, last name Brown or something, I can't remember her name, but it was really an eye opener of just how to handle people that are like that. And I'm sure there's just lots of people out there that are like that. And they shame you. That's the last step. If they shame you, like, oh, you're going to do that to your grandkids. Are you serious? I'm like, I know I'm a good grandma. I know I'm a good person. I don't need you to, you're never going to change at this point of how you feel about me or treat us. So what am I doing? So it's like I've had to step away, and I'm doing much better. Yeah, it's in the back mind though. I'm not like 100% like, oh, this is great. He's out of my life. My daughter-in-law, so, is out of my, I don't like it, but I've had to step away because they both are toxic for me right now.
Yeah.
And that was a huge realization of learning what I need.
Sure.
That I need to put me first a little bit right now. And my husband agrees. So he's 100%, and he's tired of how they treat us, and especially me. And I just, because of fear of losing grandkids, is horrible. I've been in a performance for so many years of keeping my mouth shut, being just seeming like everything, I'm going to support you 100%. I don't need anything. That's not fair. And my time is important. I'm an important person too, just because you're raising kids, that kind of thing. Yeah. So I think a book like that, I think it could help people, like how to deal with people in the workplace, or, of how they make you feel really bad.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of books that come to mind where we could use something like that. The biggest thing I want you to notice and lock onto for everyone else is that in doing this, you feel better. And honestly, sometimes you don't necessarily need a book to tell you that. Because given the gift that you have, that's something you need to do. It's just a challenge. And of course, a book can help bolster you in making that decision. But sometimes just listening to how your body feels in stepping away from something like that is super important. One of the things I ask my clients a lot, if they're contemplating, ending a relationship, whether it's with a job or with a significant other or with a family member, what I ask them is if you woke up tomorrow and you didn't have to deal with work or the struggles of the relationship, or getting another text from them, and it was just done, like you just woke up and you didn't have to worry about it, how would you feel? a lot of them will go, oh, relieved.
Mhm.
And and when they say that, it's like, okay, then you actually know what needs to be done. You're just afraid to do the in between, which is the conversation. This also happens with my clients who have parents, or someone who's dealing with early onset of dementia, and they're trying to do all the caring and all the work, and their parent is not knowing what's best for them, denying medical help, denying a caretaker, denying
Wow.
assistance. And what I say is to them is, let's say you woke up tomorrow and you had a care team that was coming to do some of this work and help you out. How would you feel? And they say, oh, relieved. And it's like, okay, then what we have to work on is getting past the hard part of, hey, this is best for you. I know that you're going to be upset, but sorry, this is what's best for you. And it's really, really hard for us as the type of empathetic and caring people we are to go from what I call it, from caregiver to care coordinator, right? When it comes to people we're looking out for. And then in life, when it comes to people who are continuing to hurt us, even though we love them, eventually the best thing for us to do is to say, hey, sorry, I'm not gonna put up with it anymore. And you said it yourself, Jen, you put up with it. You kind of trained him to do that. Mom's not going to do anything. She's not going to leave. I can treat her however I want. Sometimes setting that boundary and saying, no, I'm not going to deal with it. It does end up being the very thing that has them come back and have a change of heart. And if they don't,
Yeah.
then we know that we made the right choice in that situation.
Right. Yeah.
So that's good. On topic of the book, was there anything that we really liked about it? What do you think was a big positive that you got out of it?
Positive. Well,
Yeah,
for me, I think the pause. Oh, go ahead, Betsy. I'm sorry.
I was going to say this book club.
the being in the book club.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love that.
Go
You
ahead.
mean for this book we just read, Chase?
Yeah, for this book we just read,
Um,
what was something that was eye-opening or a positive that you got? If you got nothing, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing, like I had said in the beginning, was realizing that we have a choice of what we're going to do. I mean, he was terminal, but we have a very serious syndrome, disease, whatever you call it. It's serious. It's a nervous system thing. We're trying to retrain and reboot. So it's not like just some little thing.
Yeah.
So, and we're in a lot of pain, and it's debilitating sometimes. And everybody has their own different stages they're in. But I think that from this book, it just showed that, gosh, he just really had a lot of determination. Even though he's in so much pain, he's dying, and he knows he's going to die soon. I mean, it could be a year, it could be next week. I mean, he knows it's coming, but he still pursued having a baby. He's still, making his wife be happy, so she wasn't alone.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just thought that was like an eye opener. We have a choice. We can choose to pursue more in our life than what we have. Like I said, sitting on a couch, just focusing on pain. We can do more. It's just that step of doing it.
Yeah,
You
I love
get
that.
out 5 minutes at a time or whatever. And it's going to get more. That's what I've been working on since last January. And it started with you. Is 5 minutes here to go in my scrap room. But, I'm still not completely going in like I used to. I'm really not yet. But I'm looking forward. I'm having people come over once a month. I'm more active. I'm creating more of a life now, and I'm not fearful of how I'm going to be that day. And that's where the changes come.
Yeah, I love it. I think that was one of my favorite parts of the book as well, is the decision to continue to live even though he was dying, and making that decision to go ahead and have a child and put a future out there for himself, even though his life was ending. And yeah, I think that is one of the more meaningful parts of the book, in my eyes too, is that choice that, even though it's a life sentence, it's not. And
Yeah.
CRPS is very much like that. It's especially when you finally get confronted with the fact that maybe there is actually hope, making that choice to step out of that shadow and actually start to live. That's often the hardest part, getting over that fear and that darkness and moving forward, for sure.
Right.
Deborah, what about you?
What about me?
What was your favorite part, if any?
Definitely not the medical.
The only thing that came to mind was, my goodness, if he could have that attitude as sick as he was, then maybe I can, or maybe I can look at my attitude again or differently. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. But
perspective, sure.
Does Betsy, do you have anything to say? Or you didn't read it, huh?
I didn't read the book.
Okay. Well, then,
good.
Because back to what
can you turn down like your where I could barely see your head? You're like, we see most of the wall. Can you like
I'm sitting in the boat.
That's okay. It's just nice to see you. Like, it was more the wall. So okay.
I had a surgery on my tongue this past week, and so I'm eating soft foods and they don't fill me up for long, so I'm snacking back here.
That's all right.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Deborah?
Well, back to what you said initially. You and I had a couple-minute conversation before everybody else got logged on. And I appreciate that this is a support group first and a book club second, because that's what I need. I mean, yeah, it's good to discuss the book and, it prompts me to read something different. But my primary need, I think, is the support. And, what I said, I have my grandma's handkerchief here. What I said to Chase as I was logged in and he logged in and could hear me babbling in the background. I'm having a flare, and a couple things that I went to a funeral earlier. A friend of mine, her 30-year-old daughter, got pneumonia that turned into a staph infection, and they had to take her off life support. So today was the funeral, and I was glad I could be there for her. But in my head, her daughter had long dark hair, and my sister died 2 months ago, and she had long dark hair when she was young, And so I think that has triggered me. And plus my therapist told me last week, you need to write a letter to your sister. So I've had this note sitting on my table for a week, and I walk past it how many times during the day, and I don't do it. And I'll do it tomorrow, and I'll do it. I have until Wednesday with my next appointment.
Oh, jeez.
But I can remember Chase saying to me, probably to everybody, the very thing you don't want to do is the thing you need to do.
Yes, it is.
So I feel like I've been doing this though. Yeah. Not that I discount the premise. I believe in it. But it's like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to say. So if I start crying, ladies, that's what's prompting this. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling like dealing with that, and nothing but that. I think that's really it. I'm telling myself, well, you just got done with the remodel of the kitchen. You're getting your carpeting replaced. That's probably what's really bothering you. Well, some part of me knows that's not true. At this point, the carpet's going to be replaced. It's no big deal. It's not the carpet. That could be the name of a book. It's not the carpet.
That's not the carpet.
It's what I'm not dealing with. And I know that's what it is. It keeps going through my head too. I made 2 picture boards and took them to the funeral for my sister. And I told my nephew, take everything home. I can't deal with it today. Well, I'm afraid he did something to my pictures. I don't know that. I don't know that. See?
Maybe you could ask them today so you could get them back so you're not worrying about that.
Well, I've reached out to them several times. And my nephew's not that great about getting back, but his wife is. And I don't even know what I said. I didn't say anything about the pictures. I just said, when are we going to get together or something? And she just said, well, soon. So I guess I feel brushed off.
Well, you know, can I ask why you didn't ask about the pictures?
I don't know. Now I can say, because it's been 2 months and they haven't reached out to me, I feel like I'm being a bother.
Why?
I don't know.
So I think that a few things I'll say, Deborah. First, when Deborah came on, she said she didn't want to rain on anybody's parade, which I want for anyone watching on YouTube. I want them to know that the number of people who reach out to me before Power Club and say that they're nervous about joining because they don't want to rain on anybody's parade is wild sometimes. And the reason for that is because what is this first?
Support group.
Support group.
Yes. So if we're hiding away, not allowing our emotions to be seen, and not joining the support group for support, what does that teach in our nervous system?
Oh, geez.
That emotions are what?
Illegitimate or shameful.
Not important.
Right. That we're not important, that we're a burden, that our feelings don't matter. And so, Deborah, it's actually really courageous what you're doing right now, allowing us to see how you're feeling. And I also want to point out that there is a narrative here about what we mean to our nephew and his wife, and it's a narrative without any communication. And what I mean by that is you reached out and asked when we're going to get together, and they said soon, and there was no specifics. There was no discussion of the photos at all. And we took that limited interaction as I'm a burden, I'm a bother, I shouldn't reach out to them. Does that sound accurate?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to ask ourselves, where does that narrative actually come from? You know, where
from when I was 3 years old until
right. And so when I say the healing you're looking for is in the things you're avoiding, when I say that, what I mean is the only way that you can change that narrative is by providing yourself with new experiences. And yes, sometimes those experiences will reinforce that feeling, but if you do enough of those experiences, it will normalize it. It will take it away. So here's an example. I had a lot of relationships when I was younger where I was cheated on. And I got this idea in my head that it was inevitable that I would be cheated on. It was just going to happen. And I had a girlfriend who I was dating, and I said to her, we were talking, and I said, well, when you cheat on me, I'm just going to leave. Like, it's easy for me. And she said, I don't blame you for wanting to do that, but you said when I cheat on you, as if I'm going to do it for sure. And it really opened my eyes of like, oh, I've been programmed to expect that I'll be cheated on, right? And she never did. and it gave me a new experience, and it helped me for future relationships. You know, not everyone is going to hurt me in that way and or leave me, right? And I had a message of people I care about will leave me because my mom died and my brother died, right? And so what I would encourage you to do, Deborah, is I would encourage you to message specifically about the photos and say, hey, can I get those? Can I come by and get those? Do you still have those? And then you can make a conversation about when we're going to hang out. But if we inadvertently, reach out and ask, then we'll never get what we're looking for. And I get, again, talking about messages that I get messages a lot from clients or people I don't even work with that will inadvertently ask me something and I can tell.
Mm.
You know, they're asking me a question about something unrelated, but I know that their actual intent is to ask me another question. And so I'd like all of you guys, because all of us are similar in personality in that way, to think when you're communicating with someone, what do I actually want to ask? Or what do I actually want to communicate? And just do that.
Deborah, oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
Skip the qualifiers. You know, I used to do these qualifiers of, you know, hey mom, how's your day going? Can I help you with anything? And then can I have a sleepover? You know, I had to prep my parents for the question that I really wanted to ask to have my needs met. Now in adulthood, we want to move quicker to what are my needs? How can I communicate those?
What I was going to say is that maybe you should specifically put out some dates that work for you. Like turn around the narrative and make you important. What is your time that you have open? Or
sure.
You'll feel like an afternoon's better than an evening, or what's going to feel better for you? Because I think that we need to show that we are just as important as everybody. It seems like we have learned to just put ourselves like we're not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, I'm done with that. It's not right. We are sweet, nice people. Like we need to be seen. We need to feel like we're just as valuable. Our time is important. So I think that by you actually setting a time, like being like, hey, is next Saturday the date work at this time? Or give a couple dates. I usually like setting out like a lunch dates. I look at my calendar and I see what works for me and I give 3 dates and times. And they can pick from it. Or none of them works, but you know, at least you're giving something. I think people like that, actually. They're so busy that they don't have time to figure it out themselves. Like I figured out that I'm an organizer, that by nature. That's just me. Like every group, I've had to organize everything. So that means time, like given a time. They don't want to think about, okay, what time would work for me? But they don't want to think about the week or like how that's going to juggle into their schedule. If you give them that time, they can choose. Oh, and then maybe will really think about, oh yeah, I really do want to see her. Let's do this. Or give an option of somewhere that you want to go to that's fun. If you can do that. Like I know you're in a flare right now, but I mean, in the next week or something, make you important and give them more information than, and they're just going to come back soon. That doesn't do us any good. And also, worrying about is not doing you any good. In the back of your mind, you're worrying about where those pictures, they don't love me.
On and the holidays coming, it's going to be Easter. And
yeah, I mean, so I think that we have to be almost proactive in our life right now. We have to just put it out there. It's hard. I know it's very vulnerable, but it's turning a narrative of what I'm in my 50s. I don't know your guys' ages, but we have been conditioned to be this way in our life. And like you said, since 3, well, mine's been since childhood too, of like accumulation of how we live our life and how we allow things to affect us and take it on. That's why we have CRPS. I mean, it's
our system. Have it. Yep.
Enough taking the abuse, enough, putting yourself down at the bottom. Oh no, don't worry about me. Whatever works for you. Well, that's not you can only do that for so long. And we've been doing that for forever. So I think that through Chase's program is learning how to get out of it and realize that we're important too. And we gotta set boundaries and we gotta speak up.
Well, and also
we have to speak up for ourselves.
Jen's absolutely right. And also I want you to think about this as well. When someone asks us personally to do something and we say, no, sorry, I'm unable to do it. Do we see that person who's asking every single time? Do we see that person as a burden, as annoying? Do we look upon that person with disgust? Do we feel like they're such a pain that they even asked? Sure, sometimes maybe there's one person like that, but the idea that always, the way that we think sometimes that we're always the burden, that they think less of us because they don't want to spend time with us, that's that. If we just think about our own perspective when we turn down an invite for something, we don't think that's true. Sometimes I turn down an invite because I just want a Saturday to myself. Sometimes I turn down an invite because I know that's going to be at the end of a long amount of time of work, and I need rest. Most of the time when I turn down an invite, or I turn down hanging out, or I say soon, it has more to do with what I need than anything about the other person.
That's good perspective.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's true. I mean, yes.
Yes.
But that's fine. Soon means one thing to somebody, and I'm at the receiving end of that, so I take it a different way. But I want the picture, so it's a whole different narrative right now.
Right.
Soon wasn't soon enough. When can I stop by? Or just Tuesday and Thursday morning, can I just stop by and pick up the pictures?
There you go.
Yes, and so right there, that's communicating, right? Yeah. Because you didn't ask, when can I get the pictures? You asked, when are we going to hang out, right?
Yeah, right. Pictures have never come into the topic.
And then you have to ask yourself too, and ironically enough, this is actually in the book that everyone loves so much, The Courage to Be Disliked. There's a second book called The Courage to Be Happy. And one of the things it says in there is sometimes the way that we frame our communication is actually with a directive, meaning we want subconsciously to be fulfilled in the idea that we are bothersome or a burden. And so the way we frame our question perpetuates that image.
Wow.
So when we come in and we ask, something like that, instead of directly asking, hey, can I come by Tuesday and pick up the pictures? We ask, when can we hang out? Subconsciously, it achieves our underlying goal, which is to get the message that I am a burden, I am a problem. And so that is another reason why direct communication is extremely important. I also want you to know that when they say soon, they didn't say never. And they could just be juggling with a lot of stuff right now. So again, you are right that soon means something different to different people, but either way, it is our own perspective that is shaping the reality, not the actual reality, if that makes sense.
Right.
Same thing. There's been a few people recently that have had to step away from being a part of the Power Club, and they'll come on and say, I need to do this for myself. I need to take some time to just get back to living and kind of step away from stuff. And, they'll feel guilty about how it might make other people feel. And I always reassure them, like, it's okay. You choosing yourself is fine. And so it's the same kind of lesson that we're trying to share with each other. And it's even hard to do it within our own support group to find that space to say, this isn't serving me right now. I need some time, and that's all right. So yeah, remind yourself that if anyone else, like if you yourself were saying soon to somebody else, you don't think anything of them being a burden or anything like that. And they probably don't think that either. And if they do, they don't need to be in our life anyway.
Right.
Right.
Okay. I can do that. I can set, because I know I'm available Tuesday and Thursday morning, and mornings are good for me.
Yeah.
So
just say, are you free Tuesday or Thursday morning? Can I come by and get the pictures?
Okay.
I'd love to have those, and yeah, see what they say.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never be, to everyone else watching or even here, never be worried about coming in here if you're struggling with something. That's what support groups for. Does anyone else?
And you remember last month, Deborah, I was the one who was like, I didn't mean to, but it just came out. So, I was so thankful that you guys cared enough to listen and not, be like, oh my God, Jen's on a rant again or something.
Never entered my mind to think that or say that.
Yeah, no way. We're this is what we want to do. We want us to help solve some challenges for each other, and give input and advice on how we might do that.
And something else, when you're in like that flare, like that intense pain, it's like everything feels awful. Like any little text will feel like it's like a dagger, and it just feels like everything's so heightened because you are heightened. I mean, it's like we are living at a very heightened level until we can get it down. And so everything can be like just so overwhelming, and like it's coming at you so heavy, and you feel low and depressed, and it's just got to get out of the pain cycle. You got to get moving past it, and you'll feel so much better. And having focus and giving people more information, I think, is going to help too. That's helped me. More information, being more direct, not and putting yourself out there, even when you're in.
Yeah. And remember that a big reason we end up with invisible illnesses, to your point, Jen, is because we have a need to be seen and understood. And so if we hide away and make ourselves invisible, that's certainly not going to help our pain either. So yeah, you're right. Put yourself out there, come to the support group, and let some tears out, and get the support that you need. I think it's good.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have a challenge there that's ahead on the horizon this next month? I know Jen's launching her stuff. Betsy, you got your hand up. What's ahead?
Well, I just got another diagnosis. Yay. I was seeing a spine doctor because I've had some stuff going on in my back and with my balance, and he noticed that I was missing some what do you call it when the doctor takes the hammer and hits the place below your knee?
Your reflexes?
Right. I was missing some reflexes, and so he had me get some more electrical testing, and so now not only do I have CRPS, but I apparently have an early case of neuropathy, peripheral neuropathy. And I also found out from my knee doctor, I've been getting injections in my right knee. I have arthritis in the inner part of the joint, and he said I'm going to have at least a partial knee replacement probably within a year. And that makes me, as you can imagine, a little nervous.
Sure. Yeah.
So like I feel like I have to work double extra hard and try to to get my CRPS down as far as I can, so I don't so I can have a somewhat normal knee recovery on the other side. So yeah, that all makes me kind of nervous. She did send me to physical therapy though, because she wants my balance worked on. And
good.
I have I've seen all these people do mirror work with hands, but not with feet. So I didn't really know what I would do. Your hands do different things than your feet do. So I finally have a mirror that kind of works for that, because I bought one of those mirrors that's like on a stand like this for my closet. And I tried the other day. She's trying to get me to do toe yoga, which is a hoot because I can't move. I can move my big toe, and I guess I can lift all my toes up and down, but I can't differentiate them at all, which, I mean, that's a lot better movement than I did have.
Do you have CRPS in your foot?
Yeah, it's in my left foot.
Is that where you're having the issue? I mean, still, like what you're talking about?
Well, the neuropathy is in both legs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like one thing on top of the other.
Yeah.
Partially in the place. So anyway, she gave me a toe yoga thing to do, and the one she gave me I can't do with my right foot even, but for the first day I just said, okay, I'm going to do the toe yoga that they gave me when I first had my ankle replaced, and that was keeping the ball of your toe on the ground and lifting your big toe and leaving the others on the ground, and then putting your big toe down and lifting the others up.
No, that's hard.
And I did that with the mirror. She wanted me to start with lifting the big toe up and putting it down, and then lifting the little toe up and putting it down. So I decided for the first day I would just do that one, and it was very interesting. Um, I had sort of tried to finagle a way to do that before, but I guess the way I had just didn't work as well. But this way, I don't know, it felt like I was doing the same thing with my left foot that I was with my right. I have no idea if I was or not because I really couldn't see it, but it didn't stir up anything in that foot either.
You don't, and you just so you know, you don't have to in the mirror be doing the same thing with the other foot. You can literally just with the right foot do some things
Yeah.
and look in the mirror and you'll have benefit. In my online course in module 4, I think it's the 4th video, there I go over some foot exercises you can do with mirror therapy.
Were they in there when I went through that one?
It depends. I updated that a
Okay.
couple months ago, so you'll have to check.
Okay. No, they weren't up there when I went through that.
Yeah,
Then.
so you might not see that, but you can literally do anything in the mirror with your right foot, and if you're looking into the mirror as if it's your left foot, your brain is getting information and it's updating. So it doesn't anything you can do with your right foot, you can also move your right foot and just visualize while looking in the mirror the left foot is moving. Or let's say you're moving your right foot and you're moving the big toe this much, right? If you move your left big toe even this much, like if we're doing it like this, that is still going to be benefiting your brain in understanding that this movement with both toes is safe.
Well, like I said, I have no idea what my left foot was doing.
Right,
I mean,
right. And
I mean, I feel
often,
like I do, but it looked like as smooth and polished as my right foot is.
perfect. Yeah, so you're getting the benefits from that. And but yeah, it's always hard to hear scary words from the doctors and be given another label. So we'll certainly be sending thoughts and prayers your way, and keep us updated on how physical therapy is going in our Power Pals group, so we can cheer you on. I think that'll be good.
Can I ask a question, Chase? Because you had said that once you started healing, other things started happening, like you got colitis, ulcerative colitis, and migraines. I feel like that's what's happening to me. I'm getting more things happening. Like
Yeah.
I had more of my gut health kind of in check with all the meds I have to take that kind of slows everything down. And now it's all out of whack and I have to go, get that looked at. And then it's like, the sinus thing is not going away since January, and so I have to get a CT scan, and I'm just like, is this like something that's like you're trying to heal and other things are popping up? It's just so weird.
Yeah.
Because I keep going back to what you did. It's just like, okay, maybe it's just your systems. I don't know. Can you explain that? Like other things happening in your body?
Sure. This is in Mind Your Body by Nicole Sachs. It's called the Extinction Burst. It's also in the Mind Body Prescription by John Sarno. It's called the Symptom Imperative. As you are healing one area, you feel less concerned about CRPS. You notice other symptoms that pop up. Now, obviously, yes, go get some testing done. But a lot of times things are going to come back totally fine or normal, or you'll get some blood work and you'll say it's all out of whack, when in reality, there's just a few things that are slightly off, and that's actually normal for you. It's not even actually a problem. And so remember, the thing that the mind is doing is it's drawing your attention to physical things to distract you from what you're dealing with emotionally. And so when you've made this decision to, step away from your son, writing about that is really important. Anything else in your life that you feel frustration with, continuing to write about that. Writing the thing sitting on your desk for your sister, Deborah, it would be a great thing to do. Your symptoms, just case in point with even Deborah right now, are going to come forward to try to distract you from what you're not dealing with emotionally. And Betsy, not to call you out, but even for you in this case, I would consider thinking about some of those things in your life as well as you go through the physical therapy aspects of this. Yes, exactly right, Jen. This happened. For example, Pat in Power Club, she felt like she was feeling better with her CRPS, and suddenly she felt like she had a torn rotator cuff. Right? Or a a lot of my clients will go from, CRPS pain to some headaches, or CRPS pain to ringing in their ear or something like that. And all of these, it's just alphabet syndromes. It's just bouncing around. And so you could actually take these new things popping up as something exciting, and even a general signal that you're on the right track. I often tell people, and you'll see in my speech when that comes out in mid-April, I'll be working with people and they'll be talking about a specific topic and they'll start having a symptom, right? My leg really hurts, my body is shaking, my stomach is hurting. And I'm always like, that means we're right where we need to be as far as emotional topics go. And I want you to think of it this way too. The chance that you are lottery level unlucky in the sense of you keep getting new diagnoses is so low, meaning lottery level, that more often than not, it has more to do with your emotions than anything. And I tell this to moms all the time. Moms come to me and they're like, my daughter has 15 different diagnoses and she was totally healthy before. It's like, okay, she probably still is totally healthy. You've just been collecting diagnoses because, one, when you go to a bunch of different doctors, the only way that they can bill you in America is to put a diagnosis down, right?
Right.
The more diagnosis, the more money. Okay. And so our system is literally designed for that. And so, I want you to really take a lot of this stuff with a grain of salt. And to circle it back to the book, in the beginning of the book, I believe that he was talking about the most important aspects of his life that contributed to his own illness. And one of those aspects was the extreme strain on his marriage, and the striving and pressure he put on himself.
Yeah.
Additionally, he landed in something that wasn't his initial passion. His initial passion was writing, and lo and behold, the thing that he's known for is that book. And so when we think about emotions and how they weigh on the physical, that's a really important thing to consider. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. Unfortunately, I do have a consult call in 3 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
But what I'll do is we'll wave bye to YouTube. We'll plan to see the people who are, and I'll say this in the beginning so they know, but our next meeting is going to be Saturday, April 25th.
Okay.
Okay. And so we'll have that there for us, and that's going to be the No Bad Parts book. And then another announcement that I have to make for you guys.
You're not allowed to go on vacation.
Yeah, I am going on vacation mid-April. That's one thing. But also, we will figure out a way to make this a little bit easier. But over the summer, so in the months of May, June, and July, yes, we won't be having Power Club hosted by me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel everyone's subscription. That way there's no, you shouldn't get charged if I'm not here. And we're going to take a summer hiatus. However, that doesn't mean that you guys can't still, get together without me. And the reason for this is because I am working on a book, as you guys know, and I need more time. I need more time to write, more time to care for myself. And so for the summer, we're going to take 3 months off, and then we're going to reevaluate the Power Club and how to structure it in a way that is even more exciting and more worth the $7 a month that we're contributing to that.
Do we have can I say something real fast?
Yeah.
I can talk fast.
You're fine.
Well, maybe during the summer, whoever wants to in Power Club, we can get together the first Saturday of the month just for support. I'm just throwing that out.
Yeah. And so with Power Pals, what we can do is I can figure out a way to have, someone else that's going to be there as like the host for the Zoom link. And then you can what I can do is I can just make this meeting link active for anyone to join without a waiting room. And so what you guys can do is within the Power Pals group, you can coordinate for the summer.
A time and okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I like that.
So we'll do no bad parts. We'll lead off for our summer break, and then we'll plan to resume Power Club in its format now. I want to make it a little bit more interesting and involved. I feel like still once a month, but more stuff, more resources. And so I'm going to brainstorm that over the summer while we look to restarting in August. Okay. So April 25th, I will see you guys, and I'm going to jump over to talk to Jessica, my consult right now.
Okay. All right. Bye, Chase. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye,
I'll see you guys next month.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.